Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Otts here. It's Sunday morning, and we're doing a preview for a Dallas game today. First game, a road trip against two Texas teams. We'll play Dallas Mavericks today, who are 0-2, and the 2-0 San Antonio Spurs tomorrow. So, yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves and start thinking about Wemby. We got to think about Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg. So, yeah, we got the latest lineup news. We've got the ref report. We've got a scout on the Dallas Mavericks on how to beat them. So I hope you'll enjoy my stream today. I appreciate everybody for being here. All right, let me start with just real quick, Trevor J's words of wisdom real quick. Everything happens for a reason. The highs, the lows, the wins, the losses, the people who come in and the ones who leave. None of it is random. Every moment carries a lesson. Every lesson is guiding you close to your purpose. I like to believe that we have paths of destiny and that things are not coincidence, and that, as much as the right people will come into your life and stay there, the wrong people will leave. And I appreciate that about the path of destiny. And also remember, don't compare your path to other people's paths. Your path is solely your own. And in some ways, their path is something that you should not know totally about. And their path is the same. It's just we're individuals, and the idea that we're all cookie cutter and we all have to be the same and we all have to have the same goals in life is absolute horse crap. So believe in your own destiny and your own path. And when you believe in your own destiny, your own path, and things happen for a reason, it's much easier to live your life without regrets because you understand that this was what was supposed to happen. I appreciate you, Trevor, for your words of wisdom. Always here. Man, he's such a rock for this channel. Trevor J, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, he's saying happy game day. Get this win tonight because Najee Marshall talking big that the Mavericks can slow down Ingram if they put him to defend him. Well, this is a personal thing because they were teammates on the Pelicans. Najee Marshall wants to guard Brandon, and he thinks that he can. He's not a bad defender. He may be pretty good at guarding Brandon, but I like the challenge, and we'll have to see if Ingram can be a Kingram in this situation over the situation and win it. So we'll just have to see. All right, let's go do this since Trevor brought it up real quick. All right, on our side, the only injury listed at this point is Colin Murray Boyles. He's day-to-day officially. Also questionable. I heard him say questionable yesterday. It is his forearm. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think Colin's going to play this game. I don't think he's the soonest he'd probably play is tomorrow, but I don't even know if he'll play that game either. I know we're all anxious to see our rookie Colin Murray Boyles, but it's going to be a little while. It's going to be a little while still. Yeah. So the Raptors should start their regular starting lineup and have a regular rotation of about 11. And we'll just have to see who's in the 11 today. It could very well be Jacoby Walter is playing tonight. And we see different players coming in tomorrow because of the back-to-back situation of the Texas two-step. Luckily, Dallas and San Antonio aren't far from each other in the state of Texas. And that road trip to do a back-to-back from Dallas to San Antonio isn't so arduous. In fact, I think they could take a very short flight or even take a bus to get there from there. But they probably wouldn't do the bus. They'd probably take a very, very short flight. Like, seriously, it's like a 10-minute flight, if that, to get from there to there. All right, let's go see what's going on with the Mavericks and their injuries, guys. Dante Exum, the guard, has a knee injury. He's ruled out for the game today. Brandon Williams, guard, is out for personal reasons, not disclosed. Daniel Gafford will not be playing today. He is doubtful, though. He's doubtful. Actually, it says he's out, but it's doubtful. It's his ankle. He has not played yet this year. And, of course, Kyrie Irving is out. But there is a report that Kyrie is ahead of schedule on his recovery to try and play this season. So, yeah, that's the injury report for the Mavs. Exum, Williams, Gafford, and Irving, most likely all out. The only one that may be playing is Gafford. Who are the Mavs this year? We talked about this a little bit yesterday, that the Dallas Mavericks are trying to run Cooper Flagg at point guard right now. And what a really bad idea this is. Seriously, not only is he a bigger guy, he has no experience in the NBA, and he's ripe for the picking. And, well, you can tell what I'm going to say for the keys to the victories to win to the path to get to the advice to the victory to win is we need to key on turnovers. If they're going to play a rookie big man as their point guard, he's susceptible to Shed and Chucky and all those guys. So this is a huge key to the victory and they've been susceptible to turnovers. They've had really bad turnovers in their first 2 games where they lost. So we need to do the same thing here. So we need to put the pressure on them. If they're going to start Cooper Flagg at point guard, we need to make them pay. Klay Thompson is their shooting guard. PJ Washington, small forward. Anthony Davis is slotted at the 4 with Derek Lively, the second, at center. Of course, we need to watch out for the rebounds. In the last game against Milwaukee, the Bucks really kind of got too many second chance shots off offensive rebounds. And I think the Raptors, since Friday, need to rededicate themselves to going and getting the rebounds. And I'm looking at a lot of our big guys who did not do as well rebounding against the Bucks. We need to beat these guys at rebounding. And, these are good rebounders, Washington, Davis, and Lively. So we need to be on it because we don't need none of these easy putbacks from offensive rebounding. So Raptors, take care of your rebounds today. Who else is on the Mavericks? Off the bench, D'Angelo Russell is there. And Jason Kidd was quoted as when they got D'Angelo Russell, or Nico Harrison said it or something. I think it was Nico Harrison, his cheesy ass. He said, this is going to be a big problem. Oh, because you guys got D'Angelo Russell? Yeah, okay. I think when you say this is a big problem, this is like open-ended, that it could be a big problem for you guys. Yeah, D'Angelo's apparently their backup point guard. And Max Christie, Najee Marshall, as we said, will likely try to guard Ingram. We'll see if he has any success. Daniel Gafford is out, but he is on this team. RJ Nebhard Jr. That's right. Andrew's brother, Ryan, is going by RJ, and he's RJ Nebhard. So we'll see Andrew's little brother, Ryan, from Aurora. That'll be interesting. Also off their bench, they've got Caleb Martin, one of the Martin twins. Dwight Powell, our great Canadian Olympian. Dwight Powell is on this team still. Over 10 years with the Mavericks, Dwight Powell. Jaden Hardy and Musa Cisse. And that's pretty much the rest of their bench right there. So the Mavericks have lost their first 2 games, including a game to the Wizards on Friday night, in which Keyshawn George stepped up and they beat them by 10. And the first game was a rout. Wemby and the Spurs routing the Mavericks and embarrassing them in their first game of the season. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Mavs have not figured their shit out yet. Their fan base is really angry in the arena still. A lot of Fire Nico chants going on. And, yeah, it's still a mess. They're just an Anthony Davis injury away from just the whole season just going to shit. I'm going to tell you right now. So it'll be interesting to see. Davis is determined. He came back with a different body this year to try and put off injury. So we'll just have to see. Like I said, if they're going to run that point guard, we need to capitalize on that and really come after them and cough the ball up. That is definitely a big key to the victory. Is Raptors. You need to put pressure on them and get turnovers. They're susceptible to turnovers. This team is not totally connected, and they're passing weird and funky. And we should be able to get the ball from them and get running. That's what we need to do today. Win the rebound battle, get turnovers on them, and make more threes than them also. That's another key thing all season long. With Ingram on our team and Emmanuel healthy, we need to start beating teams at three-point shooting as far as making more threes than the other team. We have not been good at beating other teams in three-point shooting. But this year, I feel like we can win more games in the three-point department. And that's going to be a stat I'm going to key on more this year, because I feel like it is very important to win in the NBA these days to try and make more threes than the other team, because it's such an important emphasis on the long shot. All right, let's see. We'll do the ref report now, guys. And the refs are not bad tonight. They're better than Friday. Our crew chief tonight is going to be Pat Frayer. Pat Frayer has been a friend to the Raptors in recent years. It's like one season we were undefeated under him. In fact, he was our best ref of the year 2 years ago. Pat Frayer is number 26 out of St. Paul, Minnesota, his 25th season. His favorite TV show is Yellowstone. He likes the movie Caddyshack. He likes Billy Joel to listen to. We didn't start the fire. That's right. His favorite book is Paper Tiger. He likes barbecue, guys. That's always a good sign when a ref likes BBQ. That's right. His favorite app is the NBA app, of course. He must like to visit Italy. His bucket list is to play golf at Augusta National in Pebble Beach. And his hidden talent is he's the guy who can sleep anywhere. I'd like to see you try and sleep at the World Series game last night at Rogers Center. Pat Frere, could you sleep in a World Series environment? It's pretty loud in there. It's pretty crazy. It was pretty cool. Pat Frere has officiated 1,432 regular season NBA games in 24 seasons as a staff official. He has also refereed 91 playoff games, including 2 finals games. His assignments have included the 2015 NBA All-Star Game in New York. Pat Frere is the crew chief, and well, he is the worst ref today for the Raptors. We win 49%, which isn't bad. It's the yellow zone, which isn't the orange zone or the red zone. It's the yellow zone, 49% of our games. But the Mavericks are a favorite of his. In fact, the Mavericks are the NBA team that has the second highest winning percentage with Pat Frere. So they win 64% of their games. So 49 to 64 is the split. And these splits are just pure winning percentages for the teams with the referees. There's no scientific basis of home and road, strength of schedule, or teams that they played, injuries that happened in it. It's just a pure raw aggregate of the win-loss percentages of the team with these particular refs. And, you know, in some ways, there are a lot of factors that can involve why the percentages are for these refs. But I would argue that if you just take it as it is, you can see a raw aggregate score of the cumulative interactions between the team and the ref. So whatever it is, everybody has kind of the same kind of settings. It's games. One team wins, one team loses. And, you know, you can say, well, these scientific stats don't tell a lot. Well, actually they do, because they tell you how often the Raptors win when this ref is present. And that is something that is a valid thing to look at, because I've noticed that interpreting things through these statistics has been very helpful in enlightening the situation with each individual ref. So in some ways, you got to know how to read this. But Pat Frere has been a fair ref, even if he favors the Mavericks historically. The second ref today is going to be Fennessy Ransom. Fennessy is number 70 in his 8th season out of Atlanta, Georgia. His favorite TV show is 60 Minutes. I don't know if that show's any good anymore. CBS has been bought by fascists, and I don't know if 60 Minutes will have the power that it used to as far as a real news show, and might become just a propaganda show for Trump world. I don't know. We'll have to see. His favorite movie is Enter the Dragon. He likes musician of Foreign Exchange. His favorite book is The Tao of Abundance. His favorite meal is hibachi chicken and shrimp. He likes to use Shazam as an app. He most likes to visit Cairo. His bucket list is to learn to play the piano, and his hidden talent is public speaking. Fennessy Ransom has officiated 312 regular season games in 7 seasons as an NBA staff official. Yeah, Fennessy, we had him a lot last year. We had quite a bit last year. We had him like 5 games last year, and we had a good record with him. He was one of the better refs for us last year overall. We did win a lot when he was around. So our winning percentage with Fennessy is 53% winning. He's in the blue zone, which is a great zone. It's a fair zone. And we're better win percentage than Dallas. So it's 53 to 52. It's a very close split. He's the middle ref, and he is very middle with his partiality. So 53 to 52, a slight favor for Toronto in this matchup for Ransom. The third ref is Matt Myers. We did see Matt Myers ref a game in the preseason. Matt Myers is number 43, his 8th season out of St. Louis, Missouri. His favorite TV show is The Wire. His favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption. He likes Jay-Z to listen to. His favorite book is The Promised Land. His favorite meal is buffalo wings. I got me some buffalo wings last night. I got some leftovers too. I'm going to eat some more of them later. Wild Wing. That's right. Support Canadian companies. Go to Wild Wing and get your wing needs during the World Series and all the sports going on right now. Wild Wing is your spot. Straight goods on Canadian goods. Favorite app is Words with Friends. He most like to visit Bora Bora. His bucket list is to attend the Masters, and his hidden talent is golf. Yeah, Matt Myers has officiated 12 seasons in the NBA G League and 2 seasons in the WNBA. He worked in the NBA G League Finals in 2012, 2013, and 2018 as well as the 2013 NBA G League All-Star Game. Myers also officiated the men's 2019 FIBA Basketball World Cup in Beijing. Yeah, Matt Myers, as we saw last week in one of our preseason games, He is the highest percentage ref for the Raptors today. We win 55% of our games. And the Dallas Mavericks are even at 500 with him. They have an even record with him. So 55-50 for the Raptors with the third ref, Matt Myers. So there's a heavy favor with the crew chief, Pat Frere, but he's a very, very fair ref. And I don't feel like he will have any bias towards the Mavericks against the Raptors. So this is a pretty good crew, guys. This is a very, very on the level crew that should be calling the game very, very squarely fair. So I appreciate Pat Frere. I appreciate Fantasy Ransom. And I appreciate you, Matt Myers. Yeah, so there's your ref report for today. Nothing really that scary in this ref crew. This should be a very well-refed game. Very, very well-refed game. So James is here. Good to see Raptor Freak James. Ingram versus Cooper should be a good one today. Yeah, like we said earlier, I think it's going to be more like Marshall. It'll be maybe people like Davis and Ingram. I don't see Cooper Flagg being matched up to guard Ingram defensively. If that happens, we'll see. I think it's more likely that we'll see Cooper Flagg playing against his Duke buddy, RJ Barrett. That's probably a matchup you'll probably more likely to see, James, is Cooper Flagg trying to guard RJ. And Klay Thompson on Emmanuel. And Scotty will probably get Lively or Washington. And Davis will be on Yak. So, yeah, I think that it's more likely Cooper's going to be matched up with RJ. RJ should be the logical size and things match up. That actually could be good. You know, I know Cooper Flagg is pretty heralded as a great defensive player, but, you know, RJ Barrett could probably take him to school and teach him some welcome to the NBA lessons. Hello, Duke Blue Devil, rookie #1 pick. I'm RJ Barrett, and I played for your school too. And I'm going to show you some history here. There are quite a few prominent Duke Blue Devils in this game. If you think about it, between Cooper Flagg, RJ Barrett, and Brandon Ingram, and Anthony Davis. These are all Duke guys, right? So this is a Duke game. Duke versus Duke. And even Kyrie's Duke also, even though he's not playing. So it's very, very Dukey kind of game. It's a Dukey game. It's a devilish game today, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. James is also saying Ingram plays at his own pace. At his own pace, okay? No, Bester, don't turn this into baseball show. We're not doing baseball today. The World Series is off on break, all right? Do not do this in my chat. Do not want a whole ton of World Series talk. There's no reason to do this here, all right? We're a Raptors channel. We are rooting for the Blue Jays, but don't come in here and flood my chat with baseball, okay? Because we're on an off day. They're on a travel day. There's no Blue Jays game today in the World Series. So I see Milbester in here, and I see that he's already dropping a whole bunch of comments. We're not going to do baseball like you want to, all right? This is a basketball channel, okay? And that's not just because they lost yesterday, okay? We will talk about the game slightly, but the segment for today with the Blue Jays should be like less than 5 minutes, Milbester. So I don't want to fucking talk about baseball for half an hour, okay? So please wipe your comments, especially if there's some duplicity in them and you're saying the same thing in like 2 different comments, okay? Because I don't want to waste any time on that today. We'll cover the game yesterday, and we'll talk about what happened in the game 2 of the World Series. But I really don't want to do this for like a chunk of the show. This is only like a 5-minute, at the most 10-minute talk, okay? So don't take up a huge part of my 2 hours of baseball today, Milbester. That's what I want you to think about when you come in here. Each comment you write may be like 5 minutes to talk. And I only want 1 or 2 baseball comments. How about that? I want you to limit that stuff. Talk about basketball. Talk about the Knicks. Talk about the Raptors. Milbester, because this is an NBA channel. It's not an MLB. It's not a baseball channel. And in some ways, once the World Series is over, you better for sure not be talking baseball after that on this channel, is what I'm saying. All right, let's see. Trevor's saying Indiana 0-2 for the season so far. Yeah, you know, it's such a beginning part of the season. The winning teams and the losing teams right now, you can't take too much into this. There's not enough evidence. They need more information. This is too soon to make any trends or anything. You know, some of these teams are playing very tough teams right off the start. You know, the Dallas Mavericks somehow, some way get 5-6 home games to start the season. They don't have to go on the road with Cooper Flagg for a while. It's like they keep getting partiality because they got Luka jacked from them. That they keep getting favors by the NBA somehow, some way. So, hey, Dallas, you know, we took Luka. Here's the first pick. It's Cooper Flagg. And you know what? Here's another bonus, Nico Harrison. we're going to let your team start off the season with like 5 home games in a row. That's what they did. Seriously. The Mavericks have 5 home games. This first 2 games they played already have been in Dallas, and this game today is in Dallas, and they're going to play again another team in Dallas, and then another game in Dallas. So it's like, welcome the NBA, Cooper Flagg, 5-game homestand in Dallas, just to make retribution for the Dallas Mavericks for losing Doncic. I'm sure that's all part of it. Seriously, it's fishy as fuck that they've got 5 home games to start the season. Very, very fishy. So yeah, we can't read into this, Trevor. This is way too early. Don't be jumping off cliffs because you're 0-2 teams. Don't be thinking you're championship material because you're 2-0 teams. This is too early. We can't be doing this. This is too early. You can't do this. Chris comes saying this is going to be a tough game since Dallas hasn't won yet. I think that he's right to a degree, but in some ways he's not. I think that they're having trouble winning because they haven't figured their shit out yet. And obviously the Wizards have their shit figured out better than the Mavericks so far. And that's not a good sign. So as long as we are together and we play right and we don't play off like we did on Friday night, because we were off on Friday night. We weren't exactly right. If we are in the groove and playing a good level and we're doing things fine, we should beat them. Because honestly, they have not figured out or gelled their team yet. This is too new a team. They're weird. And in some ways, they're actually running things in a way that isn't really conducive to winning. All these teams not playing real point guards at this point are weird to me. We don't need a point guard. Let's run a 6'9" guy at guard and try and do this Magic Johnson shit. Yeah, Cooper Flagg ain't Magic Johnson yet. I don't think he ever will be. And in some ways, Igor Doman, whatever, you're going to start rookies at point guard, different teams. Y'all are going to get burned for this over the course of the season, and you should. These guys don't know what they're doing. They can't run NBA teams. They're rookies. They just showed up. And throwing Cooper Flagg in that spot on this team to start the season, in some ways, it may be a detriment to his overall career by the end of it. So, yeah, I don't agree with this. I think that they're idiots for playing Cooper at point guard, and I think the Raptors should make them pay for it tonight. That's right. Criscom, I know they're dangerous because they haven't won, and they're hungry to very much win. Yeah, I get that. That is true. But do they have the aptitude and the gelling right now to beat us? Well, if we don't play well like we did on Friday night, yeah, they could beat us. We have to play well, Raptors. You can't be playing a little bit off like you did. Then that means getting after the loose balls, getting all the rebounds, and playing more aggressive and playing more tough than your opponent. In some ways, the Bucks did better at that than we did on Friday night. And that's why we lost that game. Shaq Lindsay's here. Good morning, Shaq Lindsay. Thank you for being a member of the channel. Your support is very appreciated, and I appreciate you, man. The Bucks exposed our point of attack on defense. When you have guards that can break down defensive coverages, it's important for your bigs to step it up. I don't like seeing Scotty guarding the perimeter. Would like to see him more in the paint. I agree with this. I think that with so many good half-court defenders and point of attack defenders on our team, Scotty needs to be relegated back to the back lines with Yak and Jonathan and Sandro. He needs to be considered a big on defense. Now, he can go out and guard that stuff, and it's great to have that versatility. But in some ways, we need Scott in the paint like Ben Wallace out there and kind of just being a shot blocking threat. Because in some ways, Scotty's a very good shot blocking threat. And it would be helpful for him to kind of lurk around the basket on defense. And I know that, I don't know, there's different schemes they do, whether it's man on man or zone. If Scotty could habitate near the basket, I'm totally with Shaq Lindsay on this. I think you're exactly right. That strength and that size, and even if he plays the weak side, he has really good recovery and coming over, maybe getting some weak side blocks. So I'm in total agreement with Shaq Lindsay on this. Scotty, play down low on the defensive end. Please be hanging around down there. Nako is here. He's back from his concert on Friday night. He went and saw JID. I hope it was a very good show. I'm sure it was. He's saying on paper, great at defense. Cooper ain't a point guard. On paper, great on defense. Which team's great on defense? I guess, yeah, Dallas. Dallas has Anthony Davis. They have Gafford. They have Lively. They have some athletes in length and big guys. But I want to say this. In the games against Washington and San Antonio, they got dominated in different ways down low. They were susceptible to turnovers. So we really do need to get after them and make them cough it up. And we do need to match them with their size and try and beat them in the size categories, whether it's points in the paint, whether it's rebounds. These kind of things are where we need to try and compete and beat them, Raptors. And Jakob, we need a much bigger game from you this game. In some ways, if your back is bothering you and you're not 100%, well, Darko, I would play Sandro more and let him run out there and play more center. And, we'll be in better shape. Even Mobo will have to get his slice of time too. But listen, we can't have Yak being as ineffective in this game as he was on Friday night. This is what we got to get Yak back going again. I have a theory that we can get Yak going if you get the ball to him to be in the game and let him be the hub. In the first 2 games of this season, we've let the ball go to Brandon first to try and get him going. But I think that, Brandon can get going at any time. He doesn't really need to get going right at the start. We need to get Jakob involved and start it right at the start. And in some ways, the hub of Jakob at the top of the key, like Marc Gasol, that we've done in the last couple of years, can work with Brandon out there too. In some ways, I get it. You're trying to feed Brandon and get him in isolation and get him more involved, like in the offense, because he just started here. But you need to revert back to going to Yak early as the hub, because you know what? He can pass that ball of the hub to Brandon for an open shot. It's just, I feel like you need to get Yak involved early so that he's more in tune with the game and locked in. Because I feel like if he's kind of floating around and just kind of playing as like, I'm a big man, I have to rebound and block shots and guard, I don't feel like he's dialed in or as good when he's not involved offensively. So make sure you get Yak going at the beginning of there, Darko. Please do that. Yeah. Milbester. All right, let's see what he says. You've got 2 comments on baseball. That's it. If you have 2 more or any more after that, Milbester, that's it. You said, Lex, I told you. Don't I tell me. I'm not a baseball expert. You are. In some ways, you can say I told you so, but you don't need to do that. It's a bad look. Yamamoto was an elite pitcher, back-to-back complete games in the playoffs. Thoughts on Yoshi's performance? More impressed how he settled in to keep his pitch count low after the first inning. Yeah, I didn't watch the game. Like, I have not watched any of these games, Milbester. I am not an expert on baseball. I have not watched the Blue Jays all season long. I don't watch them because I'm trying to help them win. I'm superstitious. If I watch the Blue Jays, they lose. So I did not watch the game. I can't talk about the game in any depth. I do know that Colonel Sanders was at the game last night. Yeah, Colonel Sanders sitting behind home plate. And do you guys know the story about this? Maybe they didn't talk about it on the broadcast. I don't know because I didn't watch the game once again. Did y'all see Colonel Sanders at the game last night? You all want to know the story about Colonel Sanders at the Blue Jays game last night? Why was he there? Well, Colonel Sanders, who's from Kentucky, just like our good friend Bryce Lawson, and Emmanuel quickly played for the Kentucky Wildcats. He started his restaurants, KFC, in Corbin, Kentucky. And he started an empire in the United States of a fast food chain. He's a wild man. He had shootouts in the streets over rights over restaurants. He's a little bit mafioso. But later in life, Colonel Harlan Sanders moved to Mississauga, Ontario. That's right. Colonel Sanders lived where RJ is from. And he moved there in 65 because he wanted to open up KFC in Canada. And he was overseeing like the opening of all the KFC restaurants across Canada. And he decided he loved Canada. So Colonel Sanders ended up living in Mississauga for the rest of his life from 1965 to 1980. And well, he's in some ways a Canadian icon, not just a Kentucky icon, but a Canadian icon because he was very much in our community and making tons of appearances across Ontario and Toronto in his later life. Well, Colonel Sanders is very special to the Japanese people. I don't know if you guys know this. He's like Santa Claus. Every Christmas, Japanese families buy KFC and celebrate Christmas with KFC as a traditional meal. In some ways, he's on advertisements in Japan like he's Santa Claus. Seriously, like he's Santa Claus. Well, there's something in baseball over there in the Japanese league called the Curse of the Colonel. And it's happening to the Hanshin Tigers. So there's a lot of mystery around Colonel Sanders from Japan. And well, that dude came to the game dressed up as Colonel Sanders to try and force that curse on the Japanese pitchers. It didn't work, obviously. because Yamamoto was fine and he did a complete game and got the win for the Dodgers. In fact, he was quoted as saying losing was not an option in this game for the Dodgers. And well, you're down 1-0. That's what you got to do. You got to put a pitcher out there that can even the odds and do that. So that's why there was Colonel Sanders at the game last night. That was a fan who was trying to intimidate the Japanese players on the Dodgers with a very crazy folklore story. And this thing has legs to it. It's been going on for decades, this curse of the Colonel. And it has very much a strong belief in Japan that it has hurt people and messed them up at times. So who knows? Maybe this didn't work. And, you know, that guy shouldn't have done that. But yeah, isn't that an interesting story? It's got a lot to it. It's got Canadian stuff in it because Colonel Sanders from Mississauga, and it's very, very heavily involved in Japanese culture. So very, very cool stuff there, right there. Yeah, let's see. Milbester's also saying he got into early trouble in the first inning, but he kept the Jays from scoring first, and Dodgers had a 1-0 lead before that with Will Smith's RBI. Will Smith, he plays for them, the Fresh Prince, that drove Freddie Freeman home after his double. Okay, I don't need the blow by blow. I don't care. I saw that they won like 4-1 or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's 1-1. They're on a travel day. They'll play tomorrow, I guess. It will be the first game in LA, and they'll play 3 games in the Dodgers Stadium. And well, the Blue Jays got to win one over there at least to get back to Toronto and then finish the series here in Toronto. You know, I'd love to see them do something like the Raptors and win the championship by Game 6. But I guess it won't be on the road if it happens that way because the way they switch the series, right? Or do they do 2-2, 1-1, 1-1? I don't know how they split up the travel. I mean, traveling from LA to Toronto back and forth, you know, that may be unnecessary. So maybe they do 2-3-2. Milbester, you can answer this question. Is the playoff format 2-3-2? Is it 2-2-1-1-1? Yeah, I cut out all that travel if you could. Go 2-3-2 like they did in the last round. But, you know, they do it differently at different rounds, it seems like. Let's see. Yeah, all right. He's saying Gosman pitched well, but he got overmatched at the end by Yamamoto. Smith got go-ahead homer and Muncy home run. Will Smith, the hottest hitter in Dodgers lineup, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Well, in some ways, that's the thing. The Dodgers need the Blue Jays not to get a lot of runs to win the series. And if they can hold them off with elite pitching like Yamamoto, well, that's what they got to do. Because when the Blue Jays bats wake up, they're losing. They are losing. The Dodgers lose if Vladdy and them get crazy like they did on Friday night. So that's what we want. We want booming bats and lots of offense and to touch the Dodgers pitchers with earned runs. That's right. That's what we want right there. Shaq Lindsay saying IQ needs to be a threat from the perimeter in order to space the floor. Yeah, that's part of the reason why we're valuing Battle right now so much. And if Grady can get going, Jacoby start hitting some outside threes, you know, everything will help with the three-point shot in all kinds of different ways. We need people to respect our three-point shooting. They have not for a couple years now. So Raptors, make them respect us again. Go out there and show them that you're capable threats from that range, and it'll help all kinds of things in different ways. Because in some ways, the game plan for the Raptors is collapse, mess them up in the middle because they're not going to make that outside shot. And we can't have that. We got to do better. That's right. Chriscom's saying Raps by 7. I love it. Great Chriscom's prediction this morning. Toronto Raptors winning by 7 points over the Dallas Mavericks. I love that. I love that. Yeah. All right. I'm skipping everything from Milbester that's baseball after this. Yeah. I'm sorry, bro. I just am. This is not a baseball channel, Milbester. All right. This is not a baseball channel. And I do not appreciate this, man. We've warned you many times over the years that we are a Raptors channel and we talk about Raptors. We don't talk about baseball. This is very much just a side thing at times, and especially with the Blue Jays in the World Series. But let's not get it twisted. This is still not a baseball channel, Milbester. If you want to go talk baseball, go to a Blue Jays channel and talk it with them. We're Raptors channel, and we're covering the NBA here, okay? I just need you to know that, all right? So I'm not reading any more baseball-related comments from you for the rest of the day. I gave you 3, all right? I gave you 3. All right, Shaq Lindsay saying, I thought the recipe for not getting injured is being lighter on the feet. I guess Anthony Davis read it backwards. Yeah, his philosophy is get stronger, add weight, and be stronger with muscle. I mean, he's going to have to try whatever. I mean, nothing's really worked for him for most of his career. So this time he's trying to put on more muscle, lifting more weights. And if he's stronger, then maybe he won't get hurt. That's his philosophy right now. But I agree with you. Sometimes when you're heavy, you're more likely to get hurt. I don't know. Either way, the confidence in Anthony Davis staying healthy is never ever that good. His whole entire career is like this. Other than in the Pelicans, he was pretty healthy. It's really since he showed up at LA that he started kind of being more injury prone. Seriously. Let's see. Cool Cat's here. Good morning to Coach Cool Cat. Good to see you this morning. Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday morning so far. Let's go Raptors. Stargate saying Anthony Davis is not Duke. He's Kentucky. Oh, yeah. I get them confused. See, I always do that. I always get them confused, Kentucky and Duke, because they have the same colors, right, for their teams. And there's so many storied Kentucky players and Duke players. So you're right. I got that wrong. But Kyrie is definitely Duke, and so is Cooper. So there are 2 Duke players against 2 Duke players today, except Kyrie's not playing. So yeah. Okay, thanks for clarifying me, Stargate. And you know what? Listen, when I get it wrong and I get fact checked, I like to reward people. And I appreciate him for putting me on the up and up. Of course, he's Kentucky. I totally messed it up. So he's in the same side with Emmanuel. Yeah. Okay. All right. Where's Stargate? Stargate's getting a dunk for factuality. 114 on the dunk charts. That's right. I want to be corrected. If I am saying stupid shit and I'm wrong, tell me, please. Tell me. Tell me. Shaq Lindsay saying IQ, RJ, and BI need to play better on defense. The problem was the double teams on Giannis made it difficult for these coverages. Yeah, I think that's true. You know what? I always like it when we just play people one-on-one. I feel like if we have really ultra good defenders like OG in the past, Scotty, we can do this. I feel like in some ways, even if Scotty beats Giannis or gets beat by Giannis, like if Scotty was playing Giannis straight one-on-one with not any doubles coming, could he be able to stymie and stop him? If he didn't stymie and stop him every single time, well, would we be able to stop everybody else from being good? This was kind of what I said in the Keys to Victory on Friday. I said, maybe we let Giannis get his, but we really don't let anybody else do anything else. And it's kind of like you can't go half-assed in the middle because you're going to screw up. You're going to let Giannis get what he wants, and he's going to get the other guys going. So you either decide, I'm going to stay at home on all the guys, and we're going to play one-on-one, and nobody's going to be doubling up so that we block out the pass out. And when you take your very best defender against Giannis, even if he gets beat by Giannis over and over again, it doesn't matter. As long as you're not letting Cole Anthony and other people like that get going themselves. So I wish they had done that in some ways. I wish they had trusted Scott to maybe sometimes just play Giannis one-on-one and cut off those passing lanes. If he does, dare him to try and beat Scott on his own and let Scott try on his defensive merits to stop him. And don't let them get easy open shots because we collapsed. It's one or the other. You either do it one or the other ways. And in some ways, I feel like with a talent like Giannis, you make the rest of the team beat you. No, maybe not. You let Giannis try and beat you. You foul him. Maybe you switch different guys on him. Every single time he gets the ball, you hack-a-shack him and put him on the line and just try and foul him immediately. And then, maybe he's getting 1 point every possession instead of making baskets. There's a lot of different philosophies for how to attack guarding Antetokounmpo. And I would say next time, Darko, maybe stay at home and one-on-one this guy and just let his talent beat you if he can. If he comes at your players, put Jonathan on him and let Jonathan use all 6 of his fouls. Oh, Giannis got the ball again in the post. Jonathan Mobo, slap his arm. Put him on the line immediately. Don't even let him try and get his shot up. Put him on the line immediately. He'll miss one of the free throws. And they only get 1 point on the possession. It's a hack-a-shack rule. Use Sandro. Sandro, you got 6 fouls. Jonathan, you got 6 fouls. Battle. Why don't you come in here and just hack Giannis a little bit too, real quick, Jameson? I like that strategy. Some people say that's dirty, that's cheap. Well, if they only have one good superstar, one player, and he has an Achilles heel where he can't shoot free throws right, that's what I would do. And I would not be doubling him like they were because you're opening the invitation to get your other players on the team, the other team going. And that's where the problem starts. Giannis by himself can't beat the Raptors by himself. You allow him to just play on an island by himself. That's great. You don't let him get the other people involved. And that was part of the problem on Friday night for sure, Shaq Lindsay. I see it too. All right, Buster saying, I know. Don't worry. Off season, I won't mention baseball after World Series. I'll be watching the Knicks after World Series ends. Yeah, I would love to talk about the Knicks with you a little bit. We can talk about the Knicks a little bit. OG Anunoby. Yeah, we can talk some of that. I'm all about that. You know, the Knicks have a new defense that is hiding Brunson. That's what they call it. It's like the Brunson hide, where they've set up a defense. They've heard all the noise about Jalen Brunson's problems with his defensive inefficiencies and not very capable. And well, Mike Brown has a scheme to kind of hide the liability that Brunson is on the defensive end. We'll see how long it works until other coaches figure out how to get around it. But yeah, they're hiding Brunson in their defense right now. They have a new system where they really are not allowing Brunson to get exposed. So we'll just see how long this works. We'll see how long this works. Coaches are smart. They figure out the workarounds very quickly, and we'll have to see. Fiercely's here. Good morning, MJ. Good morning, fam, and happy game day. Good morning to you. I hope you have a fantastic morning, Fiercely. Let's have a great Sunday, and let's see the Raptors win over the Dallas Mavericks and Cooper Flagg. That's right. Trevor J. Sam mentioned that because we are 1-1, and the fans are complaining already. Yeah, you know, let's not listen to the social media people. You know, once again, remember, there's people that come into our fan nation that just want to tear it apart and just talk trash, and they are not Raptors fans. So everything on social media is to be ignored. It really is. And you know what? I like what RJ said in his little interview with Kayla Gray a couple days ago. Is like, she's asking him, do you look at social media? And he's like, nah, not really. But I used to. And like, it used to be like, oh, man, they think that is what he would say. But now he's like, oh, man, this is what they think, you know, because he's like, he understands people are stupid. And he doesn't outright say that in the interview. But, you know, RJ at this point is kind of like, oh, that's cute. You think that, you're an idiot. And you want, you know, I love that. I think that we need to be the same way. You guys, we need to keep our attention as a commodity. You know, your attention isn't a powerful thing, because where you go and look at stuff, that's your choice. You don't have to give attention to a lot of stuff, especially dumb AI clips or things that are like just really fucked up. And you're just like, why am I watching this? This is a waste of time. You know, there's a lot of Raptors content that's like this, that's absolutely trash, whether it's like AI generated and you hear the voice like this: the Toronto Raptors in 2025 went to the finals and did this and did, you know, all this bullshit. Like, I hate these clips. I hate AI. I hate the stupid little robot voice doing Raptors clips or whatever. All that shit is garbage. And I don't have time for it. I don't give my attention to it. I know some people in our chats post this stuff, and I'm just like, no, I don't have time for this. I can already tell this is garbage, whether it's PED Talks or this or whatever. This is garbage Raptors content. And I don't even give it the time of day. So if I'm at the level, like, I'm not giving content the time of day because so much of it is garbage, I'm damn for sure not looking at the comment sections and reading people. I mean, I'll go to Raptors Reddit, read a little bit. Twitter people are going to be stupid. We had some idiots come in here yesterday. I kicked out talking some trash. I mean, this is how it is, Trevor J. This is sports, and people overreact, and they're immature, and they act stupid, and they don't understand things. Like Darko said, we need 20, 30, 40 games to really, truly analyze this Raptors team and where we're at and how successful we're going to be. And in some ways, fans are impatient and they jump off of different places. Most of the fans I've seen in social media, in fact, somebody posted this on Raptors Reddit. Let's go look at it real quick. Said, this is basically where it is. What was it? Yesterday's game was not that bad. Bucks at Raptors. He says, I see a lot of doomer posts and frustration lately. But honestly, the Raptors were scoring much more easily than they were last season. Last season, so many games boiled down to the Raptors trying so hard to score, looking like it was the playoffs where half-court offense was slowed down, only to have to give up early, easy buckets the other way immediately. I know this was a weak version of the Bucks, but the Raptors have struggled in the past few years to not get steamrolled by one star if they did not contain them. Get steamrolled by some bench guy. So look, this sounds like, look, this guy's saying everybody overreacting to the loss of the Bucks, you're idiots. And he's saying, anyways, I think the season is going to be a lot more different in terms of growth and pains than previous seasons. And I'm excited for it. This is a really good one. And then everybody in the comments is saying, you know what? None of us think the game was bad on Friday either. They're all going to say, I think every analyst outside this fan base didn't think it was that bad. Exactly. I don't think there's many fans that did. The fans that got upset about Friday are idiots.
and overreactive, like in the moment play. Every single comment on this Reddit post about overreacting to the game in a negative way is saying, I didn't think it was a bad game. I thought they did good. A lot of people were giving kudos to Giannis and saying that he's one of the greatest ever. And we just had to deal with one of the greatest ever and the outcome of this. And we just didn't handle him right to stop him. So, I don't know where you're looking, Trevor. Maybe you need to take your attention out of some of the cesspools you're going to look at. Seriously, that's what I would say. You don't need to spend your time looking at that. You're above this shit. Stop looking at this garbage all over the place. And the AI stuff's absolute garbage. If you start seeing basketball players or celebrities and their eyes look weird and they look too finished around there and maybe their face looks a little fatter. I mean, on my wrestling website that I admin for Facebook, Pro Wrestling Classics, there's so many people trying to post AI pictures of Andre the Giant and other old wrestlers, and it pisses me off. Because honestly, these AI creations don't look like the people that they're supposed to look like. They're insulting, and especially for dead people, they're long gone. The families of Robin Williams, his daughter Zelda, has come out and said, stop sending me AI crap of my dad, Robin Williams. It's insulting. It is not what you think it is. A tribute to him. No, it isn't. Because he would never, ever wanted this AI shit made of him. So all these people making AI shit, pictures of Scotty Barnes and AI, just stop. Seriously, because they look stupid. They look donkadonk, most of the AI pictures. And it's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And you think you're making a tribute to Andre the Giant when you make him look like a fat, ugly piece of shit? Seriously, this AI shit is not recreating people correctly. And in some ways, it's insulting to the dead. People making pictures of the AI, people that have passed on. And making, the problem I think is going to happen is a lot of young people are going to think that people from the past look different than they actually did. Because the AI slant of the garbage googly eyes and the really smooth surfaces and the way AI looks is going to influence young people to think, oh, this is how Robin Williams looked. No, that is not how he looked. Go watch a movie of his instead, like Awakenings or Hook, or watch Mork and Mindy, for God's sake. And stop thinking this AI world that they're building is real, because these faces are not exactly right, and they're insulting to people. As soon as I see a Raptors clip and they have an AI Brandon Ingram or Scotty Barnes on it, I'm like, fuck this channel. I'm not watching this shit, because that AI shit is full of crap, and I will reject it until the day I die. And if everybody else is going to get into it after me, that's on them, but not me. I'm that old guy to say, fuck AI. I'm not watching your shit. If you post AI in my wrestling group, I'm kicking you out. And if you want to fucking make Raptors content, you better not make a fucking donkey donk weird ass looking Scotty Barnes on your cover photo, is what I'm saying right now. These weird pictures of like classic NBA champions and stuff. They have like the great Lakers, and they got Magic, Shaq, Kobe, and Wilt, and Jerry West, and they look ridiculous made in AI. You see their faces. Shaq looks so stupid in AI. Like, who wants this? Who wants this shit? Oh, you think you're so cool because you created an AI picture of the greats of the Lakers. They look stupid as fuck. And in some ways, you dishonor them by making these creations of this shit. You think you're so powerful. Oh, I'm so creative. I made an AI picture. You dumbass motherfucker. That takes no skill at all. Don't brag and say, oh, look, I'm an AI artist. You're not an artist. You're just somebody on a keyboard typing shit in. You're not an artist. You have no talent at all. And making 5 of the great Lakers look like that, you're fucking dishonoring them. You're dishonoring Kobe Bryant for that shit. Sorry, a little bit of a Sunday freak out. I hate AI, obviously. Yeah. Speaking of Kobe, they asked the Raptors in a little section, who would you like to play one-on-one against if you could play one-on-one against anybody from basketball or any part of the world, anything. Jamal Shed said he wanted to play one-on-one with Barack Obama. I think that's a pretty cool answer. Kobe Bryant was the answer for a couple people, including Scotty Barnes. Of course, he would love to play one-on-one with Kobe Bryant if he could. Brandon Ingram got to when he was a teammate of his. I thought one of the most interesting answers was Sandro Mamu would like to play one-on-one with Salvador Dali, the great surrealist expressionist painter that is absolutely fantastic. I love Dali too. I was like, wow, Sandro likes Dali? And what a weird answer. They're saying, who would you like to have one-on-one with, like play basketball with? I'm sure Dali would be interesting to play basketball with. But yeah, there were some really interesting answers in that. I'm really troubled though, because it does really seem like Colin has an obsession with Larry Bird. And I don't necessarily like this. I don't necessarily like this. Colin, you can like Larry just as a player, but you better damn for sure have no allegiance to the Celtics. Colin Murray Bowles. Yeah, you liking Larry is a red flag. I'm going to say that right now. Now, I think it's interesting that you like Charles Barkley's enemy. When you look like Charles Barkley and play like Charles Barkley, I would say this. You should be more of a Barkley fan, Colin Murray Bowles, because you should be watching his tape and trying to be like him. If you're trying to be like Larry Bird, that's the wrong fit for you, bro. I'm telling you right now, you are the new age Charles Barkley, and you need to fucking go watch Barkley. That's what I'm saying right there. Of course, RJ's answer was awesome. He said, MJ, anybody who says anything else is wrong. Michael Jordan, that's who I want to play one-on-one with. And I thought that was a badass answer. And I'm sure if Michael Jordan heard RJ Barrett say that, he'd be like, RJ, you're my guy. You're my guy. That's right. He said, there's no other right answer is what RJ said. It's Michael Jordan is who you want to play one-on-one with. That's right. Yeah, I love that. Sandro and Dolly, man. Sandro Mamu Kelishvili is awesome, man. Oh, I said it right. Mamu Kelishvili. I said his name right. Wow. Wow, I'm learning. All right, let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying this. The loss yesterday isn't so bad because a lot of teams are losing. That should be winning. Well, the NBA is at a place where it's just kind of wide open. Sure, you could say Oklahoma City, Denver. There's a couple of teams that are very much juggernauts that should be winning right away, but it's very middling. Everybody else is kind of uncertain. There's a lot of teams that were not good last year that could be very good this year. We're seeing Washington do better. We're going to be better than last year. And, there's a lot of teams that are going to fall. Like the Celtics are 0-2 right now. And, Indiana's 0-2. So it's like, this is kind of a shaking out of like where we're at with the whole entire league. And there's going to be a lot of dust settling. And we're just going to have to see where we stand in the middle of it all with the win percentage. And it's going to be very interesting. It's a lot more parity. There's a lot more chances that for any given team to win on any given night. And that's what makes the NBA the best. It really sucks when there's a favorite and you come into the game and this team's just going to win because LeBron, it's Cleveland. No, that's not good basketball. You want both teams to have a real chance to win each night so the fans are engaged and they really do see a competitive game. So I like this. I like that it's not totally easy to figure it out right now. I like that a lot. No, Best just saying I did on Twitter. You did it on Twitter? Okay. Shaq Lindsay saying, what's going on with Orlando? Looks like you were right about them. Yeah, people try to annoy teams too soon. And once again, they annoy players, teams too soon. And they got to realize that the process is they do it first and then you anoint them. That's why I'm not about to anoint us yet either. But I do believe we will do it. And then we will be anointed as one of the best Eastern Conference teams this year. But, there's nothing guaranteed for us either. There's all kinds of things that could happen. Hopefully, God willing, we will be very healthy and we will be very successful. But yeah, there's no guarantees Atlanta, Detroit, or Orlando are as good as they said they were this summer. And well, we'll just have to see what happens. Proved it on the court. That's right. Investor saying, I saw the pic of someone dressed up as Colonel Sanders on Twitter from last night's game. Yeah. Hanshin Tigers playing in Japan Series World Championships with NPB League with Colonel Sanders story. What a coincidence. Well, it's not a coincidence. This is a real thing. And, Japanese baseball fans and Yamamoto and Otani, I'm sure they very much know the significance of Colonel Sanders sitting behind home plate last night. Yeah, it didn't work, though. Colonel Sanders guy, you needed to come in with that real strawberry shortcake parfait, and maybe you need to work on your costume. It didn't look exactly right because they didn't work. Didn't work. Yeah, it's crazy. It's always 2-3-2 format. Okay, thank you, Mobester. I'm going to give you a dunk for information. I appreciate that. So it's 2-3-2, especially if they're going to be traveling from Toronto to LA. That is not good. Green, if they're going to go back and forth, 1-1-1. So this is great information. Mobester, I appreciate you. This is a fantastic tidbit of information. 108 for a guy, Mobester, on the dunk charts right now. Yeah, okay, so 2-3-2. So they're going to LA for 3 games. So I'm guessing they'll play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then they'll have a travel day off. And the last 2 games, game 6 and 7 would be Friday and Saturday, if necessary. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Let's see. In the 90s, it used to be 2-3 format in division series, but they switched to 2-3-2 after my Yankees lost to the Indians and format. Back then, the wild card team with the better record would host. Okay, that's good information. All right, thank you, Milbester. That is good information. Let's see. Stargate saying, this is why I have Milbester blocked. He never talks Raptors. It's either Knicks or baseball. That's what Stargate's saying. I mean, it's somewhat fair, but also it's sometimes, you know, he stays on point sometimes. It's just, I know the dude gets very excited about his stuff and he just wants to share. He wants to talk about it. And I can't fault him for enthusiasm. To a degree, a lot of this is enthusiasm that we get from Milbester right here. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying, what is Mobo's role on the team? If I was his agent, I would be on him to improve an outside game in order to carve out a position on this team. If he doesn't, his position becomes redundant. You know, this is a good question. I would say this. Jonathan's role is in some ways he's like Scotty Light. And there's nothing wrong with that. We having glue guys that are very versatile, that can do a lot of different things, you know, is good. He's not the same talent as Scott, but he can do a lot of the same things Scott can do. He can handle the ball. He can shoot the three. It's just that he's not one of the better three-point shooters. We don't want him to take volume threes. But if he has to take an open three, he can make that and knock that down from time to time. The strengths of Jonathan Mobo are at the four. He's a very good active foot big that can actually kind of guard people very well. Also, he's a good rebounder. So, you know, his role, he's a role player in some ways, but he's also a glue guy who's versatile, who can do a lot of different roles. And as he described himself, he visions himself as positionless, that he has no set position and that he's versatile. He's a versatile player that Darko can utilize in different ways. Most of the time, Darko's utilizing him as a backup big and 4 or 5 position. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with this. I think that Jonathan has done very well in his rookie year. And so far this year, I've seen him improve. I've seen him be a lot better around the basket at finishing. And that was the main thing he needed to improve last year, is if he's going to get shots near the basket, he needs to dunk it. He needs to make sure it goes through. And he needs to finish them. And he does very, very much dedicated to doing that better. The three-point shot's gravy. It's just extra on top. He's going to have to take them from time to time because they'll be wide open. And the offensive Darko demands the players to take the open threes, no matter who they are, honestly. No matter who they are. If they're left wide open and they have a high percentage shot of shooting it because nobody's near them, they need to take the three. So I don't know. I don't think that we should expect Jonathan to ever become a starter regularly. I don't think we should expect him to become a very major offensive player. I think that in some ways, if you temper your expectations for Jonathan and what his ceiling and who he's supposed to be, you could see him kind of being in a role like Chris Boucher over the years. He can stay in the league for a long, long time. He doesn't have to grow his game too much. I think that if he just steadily does what he's already doing right now, he can play in this league for 10 years. He doesn't have to add a whole lot more because in some ways he's very steady and he is very dependable. So I don't see the impetus or the real need to really light a fire under him and say, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. I think that their plans and goals for him as an individual and growth on the team are probably very well laid out. And Jonathan understands the assignment, but also at the same time, they're not expecting a leap from Jonathan like they might for Colin Murray-Boyles or Jacoby Walter. So there's nothing wrong with what Jonathan's doing. He's a solid, bona fide NBA player, and he can play in the big leagues, and we're seeing him very useful in defensive situations against the best in the league. So, I mean, it's really what you think he should be. I don't think he needs to talk to his agent. I think that he's in a great place, and he loves being a Raptor. And what's not to like? He's in the NBA. He may not have ever made the NBA. He's very lucky he's in the NBA. And he's playing with his best friend. So there's what's not to like for Jonathan, man. He's on cloud 9. He's truly blessed, and he is just very appreciative to God above. And he very much is a man of faith, very strong in his convictions about how he feels about Jesus Christ. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like there's a real need to really worry about this. I think he's on track, and I think that he's solid, and I think he's stable. And I think he's very much got a 10-year NBA career in front of him, which is amazing as a second-round pick. It's amazing. And a lot of it, like I said, is if he emulates his old friend Slim Duck and tries to do some of the roles that Chris does, like offensive rebounding, immediate impact, maybe he can get the 3-point shot like Chris did at some point. But if he does that, he'll stick in the league for a long time. He needs to be a role player. That's for sure. That's right. Let's see. Don't worry. The season's almost over. Kaz is saying, good idea, Stargate. Kaz is going to block Milbester. The season ends Saturday. After this week, you won't have to hear baseball from me until next year. I don't believe you, though. I do not believe you, Milbester, because there's off-season hot stove talks, and I'm sure you're going to talk about trades. I'm sure you're going to talk about who the Yankees got. I'm sure you're going to bring up baseball anyway. There's been a pattern here. Seriously. There's a pattern here. But either way, I mean, listen, Milbester, we love you. We want you to be here. I just want you to stay on task and understand this is a Raptors first channel. This is an NBA first channel. And all the other teams and other sports are definitely second. We got to talk and focus on the Raptors here and the NBA as a league. That's right. That's it right there. Kaz saying good morning. Good morning to you, sir, Kaz. How are you doing? I love Canada Post is on ball, getting that package to Kaz right away. Look at that. Canada Post works, y'all. Support your union workers in Canada Post, and let's get this figured out right. Stop being stingy, government, and take care of your Canada Post workers in an inflation society. They need to get compensated correctly for the job that they do. They're not greedy. These are public service workers that do a great service for the public, and we need to support them with fixing this. And their union is, I always stand with the union. I'm never against the union. The workers unite, the workers side. I'm on that side. The other side is corporate and rich and bullshit and trying to exploit the workers. And whenever the union's coming at that they definitely have a good reason. Trust me, guys. It's not, they always try to advertise unions as being greedy. That's absolute horse shit from powers that be, like rich people in the fucking companies that put out that bullshit. So don't ever fall for that. If you hear anti-union talk, that is big corporations trying to bust unions like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos do. It's like Amazon don't want unions. Starbucks don't want unions. And in some ways, they pay a lot of money to put bots and misinformation out there to turn the general public against people that are involved in union activities. So support your union, because unions are for the workers. Unions are for people like you and me. And that's what's important right there. That's right. Tatum is due too, but Tatum's not playing in this game, Milbester. Tatum ain't got nothing to do with us game tonight. He don't even have nothing to do with this season right now. Julius Randle is Kentucky. Yeah, we're not playing who's a Blue Devil and who's a Wildcat. We're playing Raptors versus Mavericks, and we just happen to talk about a couple of Blue Devils on this team tonight and maybe a couple of Wildcats with Emmanuel Quickley and Anthony Davis. Yeah, we're not doing the whole league here, Milbester. Come on now. Isaac's got me on blast. There's a starting five of Lex. Love to see it. Kareem Thomas in the house, holding it down for us in the 905 on the west side of Toronto. I rewatched the game against the Bucks this morning. The 30-minute clip Sportsnet does. Other than rotation, our team just came out flat. We had no energy compared to the ATL game. Want to see a pep in our step. Yeah, I feel like we were off. I feel like we weren't. Sometimes basketball is a energy game. And sometimes if your energy, your biorhythm, and your rhythm is just not right, your team will be flat. Your team will not work right. And there was a bit of that on Friday night. Now, how much of that is Antetokounmpo in the middle being a defensive disruptor? Yeah, that's a factor. Seriously, Giannis is like that on defense. He can mess up a team on offense just from being just a shit disturber in the middle with his long-ass arms and his agility to get around everywhere. So, that can be a factor to putting us off rhythm. And Jakob was the biggest key guy from Friday that we needed to be more in sync, and he wasn't. Whether it's his back, whether it was Giannis, whatever it was, we need Yak to play better. We really do. I love Yak. I'm not trying to diss on him. I seen that he was a really big part of the whole thing and why things weren't right on Friday. Smooth saying this, I didn't watch the Raptors game against the Bucks. I keep hearing that Scotty stared down Giannis. Is that wise? I don't think so. Yeah, it was kind of goofy. We did cover this yesterday. Scotty was going one-on-one against Giannis a couple trips down the court. And it was like a classic NBA battle, Reg. It was awesome. It was kind of like a Larry Bird, Michael Jordan kind of go back and forth, which was fun. Giannis would score on him, and then he'd come back and he scored on Giannis, and he felt really good about it. So he did the strong pose over him, right in his face. But Giannis didn't take the bait. In fact, he just went about business, kept playing. Giannis is a 13-year NBA player at this point, and he's been there, done that. And somebody's not immature to take the bait and throw himself off the game. He's been in the NBA for too long to know that's not the way to do it. And Doc Rivers gave him a lot of praise after the game for leadership and not losing his cool when Scotty Barnes was being a showmanship and kind of showing him up. You know, a younger Giannis may have taken the bait and messed his team up and lost because of it. But no, Giannis showed the veteran leadership and know how to stay in his lane and not let the hijinks of Scotty and what was going on overshadow the game and take him out of it. So Doc praised him for really good leadership and leading the team to the victory and keeping himself on task for what is important. Scotty, the extracurriculars are not necessary, and it looked bad because we lost at the end of the game. But it's also a sign that Scott is kind of busting out into the next level because he wants to go one-on-one versus a great like Giannis. That's a big deal. And in some ways, he was matching him pretty well in that whole back and forth. But in some ways, the ultimate outcome of the game says you lost, Scott. I would say this. Some people even said around the team saying, Scotty, don't do that. You're poking the bear. We don't need to piss off Giannis so that he's even more motivated to try and beat our ass. Seriously. And I agree with that to a degree. You don't want to necessarily poke the bear if you don't have to. And showing somebody up at the level of his talent is maybe not smart most of the time. Is maybe not smart. Yeah. Shaq Lindsay saying, is it just me or does Shed need to slow down and play with pace? Show his tenacity on defense and make the right decision on offense. One of the biggest problems with Shed since he came into the league is his turnovers. That in the beginning of the season last year, he had to rein it in. He was throwing wild passes. They're going over people's heads. And Darko really challenged Jamal to lessen the turnovers, not allow them to happen. And he took that challenge and he did very well more and more as the season went on. But at the beginning of his rookie year last year, Jamal Shed was causing a lot of unnecessary turnovers from sloppy passes. Well, he's had a couple of those already in the first 2 games of the season. But that could very well be Jamal Shed just needs to calm down and get back to the basics and play more within himself as far as not going crazy with really tough passes that are hard to catch. So he's got to rein himself in a little bit. And, and maybe the pattern will be similar to last year because, as the season went on, Jamal got a lot more efficient in not causing turnovers. But so far this season, he has been showing a little bit of that stuff at the beginning of his rookie year last year, where maybe he's throwing a pass to Grady and it sails above Grady's head like a foot or two above it. And he's like, my bad, man. My bad, guy. My bad. He very much, that is one of the big things that he works on that the coaching staff harps on him about. And Darko's very much, I remember him saying about Jamal, he has to watch his turnovers. It's like he's a leader. He can't afford to have turnovers. That's what Darko said specifically. He said Jamal cannot afford to have turnovers. Is what he said. So I think that's the biggest thing with him. I think the pace and stuff, that's not necessarily what the problem is. I think it's more that he needs to rein it in and make smarter decisions on his passes and make sure he really executes them. That's the big one right there. Yeah, let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying, I'm not saying Chucky is better, but I'm seeing things in him that I would like to see in Shed. Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit more reined in kind of things with Chucky. But then again, remember, Chucky only played Summer League and preseason. He has not seen regular season yet. And that is another level that we're going to have to see where he translates at that level. So far, Chucky is showing all the promise in the world to be able to play very well for the Raptors. And I'm excited. I want to see him make his debut. But, I mean, you got to also remember, Chucky is totally green. He's not going to know all the stuff that Jamal knows after 1 year in the NBA. So it's tough. It's tough to say. I would definitely not put Hepburn above Shed in the depth chart if that's what you're insinuating. I would definitely not do that. There may be a point in time where Chucky moves somewhere, but not yet. Once again, people got to prove things on the court. They got to do it first, and then we give them something. Chucky has looked very promising in both the Summer League and the preseason, but he has not played regular season. He has to prove himself at that level too before I start saying anything like this. Shed has been in high-pressure situations in NBA games already, and he's closed out games. He has a lot of experience on this. So Kareem's saying this, I would like to play one-on-one versus Muggsy Bogues. I feel like I might have a chance in a game up to 11, especially at his age right now, Kareem. Although you're at your age, I'm giving you a dunk. This is a classic Kareem dunk. This made me chuckle. and it's a great idea. You know, I'm sure Muggsy would be like, I don't want to play this guy. I don't think. I wonder how much Muggsy actually did get challenges from people. Like, you know, what if there's some 7-foot guy say, Muggsy, I want to play you in one-on-one. Muggsy's like, check, please. I'm out. You know, it's like I don't know how many people Muggsy actually would say, like, yeah, I'll play one-on-one versus you. You're 6'8" and I'm 5'3". No, I don't know if he's taken too many challenges. That's hilarious, though. That would have been funny if one of the Raptors had said, I'd like to play one-on-one versus Muggsy Bogues. That would have been hilarious if somebody said that. Oh, we love Muggsy. Recently, Muggsy reunited with the tallest player in NBA history, George Mirzan. And it's so fun to see those two guys together because, like, there is a huge height difference between 5'3" Muggsy Bogues and 7'7" George A. Mirzan, my giant. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see those two next to each other. That's right. Stargate saying this. Tonight's game will be interesting. Dallas is desperate for a win, and the Raptors need a bounce-back win after Friday's loss, which, in my opinion, they gave away to the Bucks with the free throws and the rebounds. Yes, that's exactly right. This is one they're going to wish they could have back. But also there's a learning lesson at the beginning of the season. And the Raptors, well, they just let one slip through their fingers. They very winnable game that they should have probably won. You're exactly right. And I know at the end of the game, Stargate went in the Discord was saying, man, this game pisses me off because we could have won this game. I totally get you on that. But you know what? This is part of the 82-game journey. And the lesson of valuing and coveting winning the game is important. And maybe this will be part of what Darko and the coaching staff have been talking to them in the days since. And, well, let's just see a better effort tonight, and let's get that W, Raptors, one way or another. That's what we want to see. We wipe our minds of the last game. We come into the game just like Greg Dick. We don't even worry about what happened a couple seconds ago. We stay present, and we keep going. Jamison Battle, same thing. These guys don't think about failures or successes. They're in them now, and they're just shooting the shot, and they're making it, hopefully. That's what you got to do as a team also. That's right. That's what you got to do as a team also. Milbester's saying, Lex, at last night's game, the Jonas brothers performed, which was nice for me because I always liked the Jonas brothers since their days on Disney Channel with the shows. That's interesting. I guess that's an interesting comment just to throw in there. It's not baseball totally. He's talking about the Jonas brothers. That's weird, man. What else did he say here? Demi Lovato did a show with them recently, and they've been close friends since she was on Disney with her shows as well, and they were all there. Yeah, this is totally a generation nowhere near mine. I never watched Disney Channel. I didn't watch the Jonas Brothers. They were not somebody I took seriously at all because I was an adult. But, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the nostalgia of it, Milbester. I guess I'll say that. Yeah, Kareem saying, hey, Milbester, what was your thoughts when the Jays pummeled the Dodgers? All right, now, Kareem, come on, let's not encourage the baseball talk here. We never got your breakdown of that game. Ironically, we got a breakdown when the Jays lost. It's become a pattern here. No, he came in yesterday, Kareem. That's not true. Milbester came in and he celebrated with us from the Friday game, and he was like thanking us, actually. He was thanking us for beating the Dodgers from Yankees Nation. So he was officially coming in and saying thank you for the rest of the MLB for putting the Dodgers in their place in game one. So this is not factually true, Kareem. Milbester did show up yesterday, and he did celebrate with us. And he was saying stuff, the Dodgers lose. He was doing the David Ortiz even when he was in here. So, yeah, he may be impartial. You got to think about this. Milbester came in here as a reporter like Jeff Pazan, and he's just reporting on the sideline. From the game 2 of the World Series last night, Yamamoto, complete game, and they beat the Jays to even up that World Series. That's all he's doing here. He's not trying to rub it in. He's just coming in with the report as a baseball analyst and a huge baseball junkie and just giving us his information about what he saw in the World Series. And I don't have any problem with that just for a second. I just don't want to do a half hour. That's all. I don't mind him coming in and reporting just like an MLB reporter. I'm Peter Gammons, Milbester, and I'm going to tell you what happened in the MLB last night. I appreciate that from him to a degree because he does have more knowledge about baseball than me by far, and I appreciate him adding to the hive mind. But, yeah, he came in yesterday. He didn't hide. He actually came in and he celebrated with us. He was very much all happy that we beat them, for sure. Yeah, Smooth saying this. Bester, you only show up when the Jays lose? No, that's not true. He was here yesterday. He was here yesterday when we won. You low-key a Dodgers guy or what? No, he's made it clear he's rooting for us. He wants the Jays to win the World Series because he thinks it'll be better for the MLB. And he's right. It will be way better for Major League Baseball in a lot of different ways if the Jays beat the Dodgers in this World Series. So no, he's one of the masses across the United States. Like I said, I seen the map. The only people that are rooting for the Dodgers are people in LA that are Dodgers fans. Everybody else around the country is rooting for the Jays right now. The United States is on the Toronto Blue Jays side. The map is out there because this is the thing. If it's not your team in the last game, you go for the underdog. That's just the natural proclivity of sports fans. It's like, fuck the Dodgers and Ohtani and their bullshit. They beat our team this year too. And in some ways, you know what? It'd be fun to see the Blue Jays win. That'd be different. So yeah, I'm rooting for the Blue Jays. There's a lot of that going on. Kansas City Royals fan, Detroit Tigers fan, Arizona Diamondbacks fan. These fans are actually on our side. The map is showing this, that we've got the majority of fans rooting for the Blue Jays right now against the Dodgers, the evil empire. Right now, the Dodgers are the evil empire, not the Yankees, because they're the ones with Ohtani and the big, huge pocketbook that's buying stuff. That's right. So yeah, it's seriously, there's not a lot of people rooting for the Dodgers. Magic Johnson and LA fans and LA people, sure. Maybe Hollywood people that are spread out around the world. The Dodgers lost the first game to the Blue Jays, but most people are going for Toronto. Americans even are going for Toronto partly because they're sick of Donald Trump and the way he's treating Canada. And some people are like, yeah, I want Canada to win this because we are being so shitty to them with Donald Trump right now that I would love the Toronto Blue Jays to win the World Series right now. So there's even energy from that. There's Americans that support Canada and the whole problems that are going on right now, and they're rooting for us from that perspective too. You know, somebody asked this summer, I think, or it was sometime in the last year, who was rooting for the Raptors in the finals against the Golden State Warriors? And it's the same map, y'all. You got to understand these juggernauts, these dynasties like the Warriors and the Dodgers. People don't like them. They're like, if they're not in that fan nation with them, they're like, fuck them. I want them to lose. So the map was very much the same when the Raptors played Golden State in 2019. Almost the whole entire country of the United States was rooting for the Raptors at that time. Seriously. Somebody said, no, nobody down there was rooting for the Raptors. That's why this was the catalyst for why I looked at this. And I was like, no, man. And then I went and found the map and I showed it to them. I was like, look, see how many people were rooting for the Raptors? The state of Florida was rooting for the Raptors. Texas was rooting for the Raptors. Washington was rooting for the Raptors. And nobody was rooting for Golden State because they're like, fuck Golden State. They've won so many championships already. Fuck those guys. They're arrogant. Golden State fans were going for Golden State, but that's it. That's it. Most everybody else, Lakers fans were going for the Raptors in that one. Lakers fans were rooting for the Raptors in that one. That's right. That's right. Let's see. He's a legit Yankees fan. Don't root for the Dodgers. And that's exactly right. He isn't because like what happened, right? The Dodgers beat the Yankees. And in some ways they want get back for that, right? So in some ways, Milbester's here to get back with the Blue Jays against the Dodgers. So he's with that, man. That's right. Alan Tam, bam, son. That's right. Let's go, Blue Jays. That's right. Let's go, Blue Jays. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Yeah, see, Milbester showed up too. You guys are not being fair to him. Let's see. Smooth saying, I know for a fact legit Dodger Blue fans never root for the Yankees. He's not. He's not rooting for the Yankees. I'm standing up for Milbester here, guys. He's not rooting for the Yankees. He is not for them. I mean, he's not rooting for the Dodgers. He's not rooting for the Dodgers. Trust me, he's not. He's not. Milbester saying, I was still watching the entire playoffs and the Jays, Mariners, ALCS, and the rest of the postseason, even after Toronto beat the Yankees. See, he's a baseball fan. He wants to watch it. Let's see. Scherzer versus Glass now. All right, we're doing way too much baseball, guys. Come on now, guys. Come on now. I don't want to talk baseball. We got a Raptors game today. And I still have some segments to do on my show, too. So, yeah, let's see. Yeah, he's giving analysis to you guys. I'm going to skip these ones. Bo is not going to be. He didn't start yesterday, right? He was off the bench as a pinch guy. Let's see. Yeah, you guys are going over Bo Bichette's injuries. Yeah, we ain't doing this. Bam, son. All right, Alan Tam, bam. All right. Shaq Lindsay saying unions support the worker, and most of this negativity surrounding this is from the private sector. Yeah. I mean, they don't want workers' rights. So you turn the public against unions. It's really messed up. It's like, understand that unions are fighting for people to get paid fairly. If minimum wage has not gone up, if people's inflation and stuff, their costs go up, well, unions are supposed to help even things out so that people can get paid the same amount in society so they can keep up with the rising costs. And, that's part of the reason why people need to make more money is because, look, it's getting more expensive in the world. And the unions protect for that. And the other thing is, people need to be together because they have solidarity together. And the powers that be know that, and they want to bust it. They don't want people to have power. Individuals that get together and collectively band together as a union, they're more powerful together. It's divide and conquer. So destroy unions, dissuade people from having unions, bust unions, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Starbucks. Fuck all y'all. That's why y'all should blindly support unions, because unions are always standing up for the underdog, the people like us. That's the thing right there. And people that are anti-union, that are like us, you're a traitor. In some ways, you are not helping out your neighbor who may need to make a little bit more because groceries costs go up and they need to be compensated fairly to be able to still live a fair life. That's part of the problem. The social contract in society is broken. The people at the top don't care about people living sustainable, happy, healthy lives. They only care about accumulating wealth in rich, gross amounts. And they will get as much as they can to the detriment of everybody else. But they don't realize you have to have a healthy ecosystem in your economy. And they're destroying it. And in some ways, they're going to find out that they fucked it all up at a certain point. Or we're all going to come up and we're going to fucking change everything by flipping it upside down. So, there's a couple outcomes here. And one way or another, the power of the people, power of the unions, and we will be solidarity, and we will kick some ass. Trust me. When the shit hits the fan, and they will get fucked up because the power is in the people's hands, and it's an illusion. And the only way these people with their money and their influence and their power are strong is if we comply. And if we don't comply anymore, we general strike, we start changing the rules for what we want. And that's the way it should be, honestly, because we're the ones putting in the labor. We're the ones that make everything go, and they are nothing without us. They don't make jack shit out of any money without us doing what we do. And that's why we need to stay together, solidarity, and stand for unions against the powers that be, like Jack Lindsay's saying, the people in the private sector, the oligarchs, the corporations, the CEOs, those people, the lobbyists. They're the assholes. We got to fight. That's right. Alan Tam said tomorrow's game is very winnable for the Jays with playoff Mad Max on the mound with his experience. Okay, I like that, Alan Tam. That's right. That's right. That's right. Alan Tam is saying, I say this series goes to game 6 or 7. It's going to be a dogfight. Yeah, that's probably right. Shaq Lindsay is saying this. Trust me, I work for a union. Without the union, I would probably be working less hours and be paid minimum wage. That's the thing. They say if you have a weekend, you get days off. Thank a union. If you get any kind of benefits health-wise, thank a union. If you don't want your children having to work child union labor laws, thank a union. These are the kind of things that are holding us off. I mean, these sick fucks in the corporations will get kids working at 9 or 8 years old if they could. They'd exploit children to come in and work. These are the same people that want to put children in mines to get black lung because they were little and they had small hands. They don't care about the kid and the health. They just want to exploit the labor to make the profits for themselves. So people like Shaq Lindsay are absolutely essential. And support your local unions. And if you're not in a union with your job, start looking for a union and join one. Seriously, because every single worker, no matter what you do, you should be in a union to have representation and a solidarity with a group of people that do your job. Because, if you're on your own and you're on an island, you don't have that support and people will crush you as an individual. So the union is there for your rights, to protect your rights and fight for what is right and just and equal for you. And I appreciate Shaq Lindsay for doing that work. Seriously, I'm going to give him a dunk just for being that kind of person who's fighting on the front lines for workers' rights. And I appreciate him for that. Shaq Lindsay, you're going up to 90, man. You're getting a dunk for your professional work. And I appreciate that. Let's see. Alan Tam said, no need to talk about the Raptors. Yet only 2 games so far. But no, fuck that, Alan Tam. What the fuck? This is Raptors Freak, Alan Tam. Bam, son. Come on now. What do you think I do? If I'm going to talk about the Raptors in August, I'm damn for sure going to talk about them when the season's going on. Nah, Alan Tam, we aren't these NBA fans that check in around the playoff time. Don't worry, NBA season's so long. We just won't watch it until March. No, fuck that. We're every step of the way here. Come on now. This is the whole premise of my channel, Alan Tam. What am I supposed to do? No need to talk about the Raptors for 2 months, 3 months? No way, bro. I've been talking about the Raptors straight for over 4 years now. You think I'm going to stop now and take 3 months off? The NBA season's right now. You're crazy, Alan Tam. You're crazy. Bam, son. He actually said this on my channel. I can't believe this. It's so the audacity. This isn't even like a strike. This is just like, I got to laugh at this. He said, no need to talk about the Raptors. I mean, what is this channel, Alan Tam? What is this channel, man? What is this, man? It's hilarious, man. Shaq Lindsay saying unions are the envy of the working class. You know, that's the thing. The working class should all be in unions. People that are upset about unions that should have a union yourself, that's the lies you're buying from the corporations. You should have a union yourself. If you're upset because your job doesn't have a union, you better organize. That's a serious thing. If you're jealous about it, any of that kind of stuff, seriously. Anybody's working right now. If you are not in a union, you should be looking for union leadership or starting your own leadership union yourself. Seriously, it's essential for workers' rights. That's right. That's right. Alan saying nothing to talk about. They won one game and they lose a game in Milwaukee by 6. Okay, Alan, nothing from your perspective, but you know I'm breaking it down. You know I'm analyzing the Raptors. You know that's what we do on the Raptor Freak channel. Let's go Blue Jays. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. All right, let's see. Trevor's saying, what do you think of the Raptors 905 draft picks? This is a great question. Thank you, Trevor. Yes, they had the G League draft yesterday. And it's interesting, like Tyler Smith, who just recently got cut from the NBA, was like one of the first 2 picks in the 905 draft. It's kind of interesting, really, really interesting. Let me go look at who the Raptors got. I know Monique put some stuff out on them. I didn't get to review it to look at what's going on with it, but it's very interesting. We got, all right, so the draft, we drafted 2 guys, and the first guy we drafted, his name is AJ Hoggard, and I guess he's from Vanderbilt, number 11. I don't know anything about him. I know Monique posted stuff about them, and I appreciate her putting the clips up, but I didn't watch them. I should have watched them, do scout. In some ways, I don't get as in-depth on 905. In some ways, I watch the games, and I cover them, and I know the team. In some ways, I'll learn about these guys when we see them play for 905. Let's see. And then the other guy's name is JP Pogues, and he's from Auburn. Yeah. Also, we found out that the Raptors still have the rights to some players from last year, including Patrick McCaw, who had his birthday yesterday. So Patrick McCaw is technically Raptors 905 this year, which is pretty cool in some ways. Also, we still have Lacey James, who was on our team last year. He was kind of big load guy. Jaden Bidiaco was also acquired by the Raptors 905 yesterday. And apparently their camp is going to start tomorrow, guys. So they'll have a Raptors 905 camp with Andrew Jones. Will be revving up tomorrow. And I'm wondering who's going to be going to Raptors 905 camp from the Raptors roster. Is Elijah and Chucky going there? You know, is AJ Lawson going to be going there? I don't know. We'll just have to see who gets directed where as far as things like that. So, yeah, Patrick McCaw is technically Raptors 905 right now, guys. Jared Rhoden's also got rights to the 905 too. So if Jared Rhoden's going to play in G League, he's going to be on 905, guys. That is another person on there. Yeah, actually, Monique has a really nice depth chart of the Raptors 905 right now and who's on their roster. Let me just go over it real quick. At point guard, Chucky Hepburn, Jarkel Joyner, and JP Pogues. Jarkel Joyner was on College Park Skyhawks last year. He's a very good scorer. He was on our Summer League roster. He's going to be a little bit like Javon Freeman, Liberty, Kennedy Chandler this year. As shooting guard, Elijah Martin, Jared Rhoden, AJ Hoggard, and Tyreek Key. Tyreek Key returning for another season with 905. Small forward, AJ Lawson, Patrick McCaw, Tyson Degenhart, who was at our summer league. He's that white guy who could shoot. David Roddy is still under contract with the 905, so we may see David Roddy out in Mississauga this year. Julian Reese, the brother of Angel Reese. Quincy Guerrier from Montreal is still on 905. Olivier Sarr is on this list at center. So the brother of Alex Sarr is still in the mix and should be out there at practice with Andrew Jones tomorrow. Jaden Bidiaco, Lacey James, and that's it. Yeah, that's from Cody Wiles posting that depth chart. That's who posted that. Cody Wiles is the reporter. So, yeah, interesting stuff. That's what's going on with 905 right now. Slug Deezy's here. He's like, I'm at work right now earning double time because I'm a union member. There you go. Unions work. Unions work. I'm telling you. Slug Deezy's getting double time right now because he's in a union. And that's fantastic. That's deserved. That's deserved. In today's society, it's tough out there financially. And now more than ever, we need to lean into our unions to protect our rights as workers. It's very, very important. That's right. Yeah. Trevor, thank you for bringing up the 905. I looked at their training camp roster. That's right. Isaac's saying if someone is in here and is against unions, well, it's Sunday. Get to work. A union won you the weekend. There you go. Isaac Campbell, you're getting a dunk. Slug Deezy, you're getting a dunk. That's right. I love this, man. And the support is awesome. I mean, I didn't expect anybody to come out anti-union in here because I know our group and how we are in here. But if somebody did, well, we could educate them. That's something we want to do is we want to educate people on this. I remember my grandmother a long time ago. She's kind of weird with her politics. She was so anti-union. And she used to talk, the unions are so bad. And also, I listened to her. I'm like, man, you're so clueless on this one, Van Ima. I'm sorry. You're just not on base with this one. Of course, you know, I think she was talking about it because in some ways she had to deal with the Soviet Union. So she's like, I don't like unions. Isaac, you got 92. And Shaq Lindsay, you got another 3 points too. Or no, Slug Deezy. I gave Slug Deezy the 3 points. That's right. Shaq Lindsay got some earlier. Let's see. Blackhawk is checking in with his Raptors Vince Carter logo. Love to see it. Let's see. And Kareem's saying, Lex, do me a favor. I got you on the TV in the living room. Can you wave to my wife? She thinks you're aggressive, and I'm trying to tell her it's passion. Her name is Allison. She will be shocked. Hi, Allison. Yeah, no, I'm an interesting person. I'm autistic. I really love the Raptors. I'm hyper fixated on them, and I get very passionate about the Raptors and life in general. I have a strong sense of right and wrong. And I feel like in this world today, there's a lot of wrong going in the wrong direction, and we have to right it. So I use my passion and my forum here on the channel to try and make a difference in encouraging people to be more educated and enlightened to social issues, political issues, and world events, along with the Raptors content that I provide as far as, you know, giving updates on what's going on with the team. So, yeah, I know I'm aggressive and I know get very passionate, but that's part of the reason why, you know, some of my audience tunes in. They love to hear me kind of get riled up. But yeah, Allison, I'm sure you're an amazing person. I've heard a lot of great things about you from Kareem. And I know that you guys have a special time at Denny's. And I appreciate you being such a great wife to him. I'm sure that he can be annoying sometimes, but you're awesome. And I know that you guys have a beautiful relationship, beautiful children, and a beautiful life. And Kareem Thomas is a good friend of mine. I love him because in some ways he's like me. We have a similar background with certain things. And in some ways, I feel like he's a bird of a feather with me. Now, I hope that he doesn't freak out like I do. But either way, I don't know. That got across what I needed to say. But yeah, thank you for being an amazing wife, a beautiful wife, I'm sure. I don't know. I've never seen your picture or anything, but I'm just saying, I'm sure that you are just an amazing person to put up with Kareem Thomas and love him the way you do. So I would say that. Yeah, there you go. Cut off. All right, there's the cut off. Trevor J saying Instagram classic cards, Instagram stories. Yeah, we got all that to do real quick right now. Straight goods on Canadian goods, guys. I kind of already did Wild Wing, but I also want to talk about Restore. Restore is a store in Canada that is involved with Habitat for Humanity, and it's a store that you could actually donate to yourself, but it's a great resource for people that may need clothing or different items at Restore. So you probably have a Restore in your community somewhere, and it's run by Habitat for Humanity. It's a charity thrift store, and it's a part of the global arm of the Canadian arm of Habitat for Humanity. It's a nonprofit store sourcing entirely Canadian donations and surplus, and critically proceeds go to Canadian housing projects. So it's just a great 100% Canadian resource. Restore, and you probably have a Restore in your community. I know there's ones in Toronto. There was one that wasn't far from my house in Leslieville, and I actually bought a bed frame at one of them once for very, very cheap because I needed one, and I had to haul it from there. I carried it on my back down the middle of the street in the middle of Toronto. I'm carrying a king size bed frame on my back, looking like I don't know. I won't say it. But like people were driving by me, looking at me like I was struggling. I think I carried that bed frame about 2 miles. Seriously. Yeah, it was pretty far. And there was these young kids too walking near me, and I'm like, none of them offered to help me or anything. I was this old guy. Oh, it was funny. It was funny. But I liked the challenge of doing it, and I was so proud that I was able to carry the huge metal bed frame for 2 miles. But either way, Restore, Habitat for Humanity, great cause. If you have too much stuff and you're trying to get rid of stuff, donate it, and they will get it to people that can use it. So I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, the fantasy teams, guys, this is the last day of the week in our fantasy matchups for this week. So make sure you get your games in. And yeah, there's some games today. Get your points, and we'll see who wins the first week. We'll see who wins. All right, here's the Instagram stories. We got Lindsey Dunn in a very beautiful bright blue dress for a World Series game last night, a game 2 that the Blue Jays did lose. But yeah, she was really looking Blue Jays with her blue dress. Yeah, Lindsay's having a fun time. She's on her way to LA now. She's on the tarmac last night. See you soon, LA. Flying out and going to the next games against the Dodgers. Teresa Resch was at the Blue Jays game last night, the Tempo president, and she is showing the crowd and the big Canada flag. And there she is smiling and taking a picture with a fan there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Teresa had her rally cap on last night to try and help the Blue Jays come back. She flipped her Blue Jays hat inside out and put it backwards on her head. That can work, but it didn't last night. Slim Duck has got this. He's like, we cannot be the new parents or something. I don't know. He's got a little baby, and there's a guy putting the baby in there, and the baby's got a Superman shirt on, and it's crying. And the dad's like, oh, what's wrong? And he starts dancing for the baby. He starts dancing for the baby. It's kind of crazy. And the baby's dancing too. That's kind of cool, man. That's kind of funny. Also, Slim Doug has got this. He's saying this: brotherhood grows stronger when success is shared, not measured. I hope that's, that's a sign of what's going on with him and the Celtics, that he's growing a friendship with the people over there. Maybe some of it's like, maybe he's saying that measure part is like, well, 50 games. The Raptors maybe measured me too much, and like, they didn't let me play. I don't know. If it's a shot at his time in the Raptors, it's a veiled shot. I'm not going to take it personally. Either way, we just want Chris to be happy as a great Raptor alumni. And Chris Boucher, we got your back no matter what. Don't worry about it, man. Unless you get out of pocket with what you say about us. That's it. That's it. Norman Powell and the Miami Heat are having a bit of a time so far this season. But yeah, here he is with some highlights from the game the other night for them against Memphis. Yeah, and I think they lost that game. But yeah, Norman is signing autographs for the Heat Nation. And I think he's fitting in really nice with Miami Heat culture. We know Norman Powell is that kind of guy. Understand the grind, fits with Heat culture. And that's what's going on. Colin Murray Bowles has got a picture of a sunset or a sunrise. And I guess it's from maybe a apartment or condo. And there he is in the entryway picture. Hopefully we see Colin play soon. I don't know if it'll be today, guys. Andrew Jones, coach of 905, is celebrating the draft picks of the 905, AJ Hoggart and JP Pegas. I'm going to have to figure out how to say his name. So it's like time to get to work. And there's Ava Jones with some of her friends. Yeah, she's going to be in the WNBA someday. Remember the name Ava Jones, y'all. Seriously, remember the name Ava Jones. Oh, these are the kids of some of the coaches. There's James Wade's son there too. So that's kind of cool. They got some of the kids there. That's funny. Is that a Lawson child too? Somebody Lawson? I don't know. Are they related to AJ? That's interesting. Eric Smith's got a new IKEA couch you can buy called the Barger. Apparently, this is a couch where step number 1, sleep on your teammates' pull-out couch, and number 2, make World Series history. So yeah, new couch at IKEA. It's the Barger couch. And you can put it together and you can get the World Series through it. All right. I think that's almost it. Yeah, there's 905 going over their draft picks. Game day post with RJ on the picture for Raptors versus Mavs today. And Lloyd is back in New York, it looks like. Scotty's friend Lloyd is in New York. So that's the latest Instagram stories for our Raptors culture right there. Raptors Reddit. We kind of looked at it already. They're talking about the game wasn't as bad as everybody thought on Friday night. The Raptors played solid and scrappy. They just didn't make shots, and they didn't win. There's a nice post on Raptors Reddit of the starting 5 that brought the franchise back to life, and this is accurate. They have a starting 5 of Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Terrence Ross, Amir Johnson, and Jonas Valanciunas. That really was with Casey when we started getting out of the mud and we started getting respect for our team in this league. So all kinds of credit to that lineup of DeRozan, Lowry, Ross, Johnson, and Valanciunas, because they really were a start of something very special that led to our first championship. That's for sure. Yeah. So yeah, let's see. Raptors Reddit. Anything else that's kind of interesting on here? Not really. It's the same stuff from before. All right, let's see. We can do the next thing. Blake Murphy's commenting on the Jonas brothers. Apparently one of the Jonas brothers got hit by a pitch in the game last night. That's weird. That's good. Oh, let's do the birthdays real quick. Happy birthday to Walker Russell Sr. He is a former assistant coach of the Raptors. He was assistant coach with the Raptors, I believe, somewhere in the 2000 something. But yeah, he is 65 today out of Pontiac, Michigan. Walker Russell was drafted by the Detroit Pistons in 1982, and he played for 6 years in the NBA, and he became an assistant coach later, and he was assistant coach for us, and he was a player scout for the Knicks. So happy birthday to Walker Russell Sr., 65 years today. Also, a big birthday wish to our guy Il Mago, the number one pick in Raptors history. It is Andrea Bargnani's birthday today, and Andrea is turning 40 today, guys. Andrea Bargnani is 40 today. Happy 40th birthday to Il Mago. We appreciate you, man. He was, of course, on the 2006-2007 All-Rookie team. Not a bust, guys. Everybody who characterizes Andrea Bargnani as a bust, that is not fair. The man averaged almost 15 points a game for his entire career, and he was a valid player in this league. There are much worse busts in the history of the NBA at the number one pick than Andrea Bargnani. So don't let them sewer him. And in fact, he's a punchline joke to a lot of people, but he shouldn't be. He should be a valued, loved Raptors alumni, and it's part of our history as a number one pick in the draft, Andrea. So happy 40th birthday to Il Mago. That's right. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's see. Stargate saying, what time is the game today? The game tonight is at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's Dallas time 7. And yeah, they're not getting an afternoon game to do the Texas two-step. In some ways, I wish they were playing this afternoon so that they could get the game done earlier and get the travel time to San Antonio in the evening so that they can be set up for the Spurs game tomorrow, because we are playing again tomorrow against Wemby and the Spurs on Monday night. So it's a back-to-back Texas two-step, and Dallas is the first step, and the two-step is going to be San Antonio. That's right. That is right. Boom goes the dynamite. 7:30 is not right. It's 8 p.m. Eastern is the start for our game tonight. I believe that's right. Let me go make sure. I'm pretty sure that's what it says. Let me see for sure. Oh, it does say 7:30. So Trevor's right. It's 7:30. My bad. He's right. I thought I saw 8 before. Maybe it's the pregame 7:30 and the game starts at 8. I'm not totally sure because I saw 8 before. Neil's saying this. I can't believe it's so hard to get SGA's shoes. Do better, Converse. Well, you know they do this stuff on purpose. They make things scarcity so that they get more enticement for people to come get it. Think about PlayStation 5. Think about, like, if they don't make a whole lot of them, it drives consumers wild and they really want it more. So there's some ploy in this, I'm sure. But, bide your time, be patient. I'm sure you'll get your SGA cheese shoes or butter shoes or whatever you want. Get the clay shoes. I'm sure you can get the SGA shoes. It might be just tough right initially, but keep trying, Neil. You'll get them. UC saying, good morning, Raptor Freak gang. The Mavs aren't as talented as the Raptors, so I hope we beat the brakes off of them. It seems like, yeah, I will agree with you. I think we're more talented than them, but, it's maybe closer than you think. I think that we were way more talented than Atlanta and Milwaukee, and I think that Dallas may be more talented than those two teams, partly because of Flagg, partly because of Davis, partly because of Klay Thompson. So, there's some talent on their team, but I think a better way of putting it, UC, is they're not as deep as us. How about that? I don't think that they're as quality players, 8 or 9 players in as we are. Jack Armstrong talked about this in the last game, that the Raptors really are 12 deep, and he wasn't even including Chucky Hepburn or even Colin Murray Boyles. So, yeah, the Raptors, and Scotty said this too in pre-interviews for the season, that he feels like our team is like 14 or 15 players deep right now. Now, people will look at our team and say, these guys are no names. Who are these guys? Well, I look at the Mavericks and I say, who the hell are some of your no names at the end of your bench? So, yeah, I think that they're more deep. I don't know if necessarily the talent level may be similar, although we should have a better starting 5, a more talented starting 5 against most teams in the league this year. Most teams. That's right. Yeah, let's keep going. Good to see you, UC. Let's see. Milbester's saying Pedro Martinez's birthday was yesterday too. See, that's not important to this, man. You're adding stuff like Jason Tatum and Pedro Martinez and stuff like, I know he's a great Dominican pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, but he has no place on my channel in my talking about right now. It's nothing other than he had his birthday. It's not anything. Yeah, Isaac Stam, Bester. That's 487 baseball comments. It's not even wing night. There you go. There you go. Isaac's making me laugh. It is too many baseball comments. It is true. Isaac Campbell, you're hilarious, man. You're 95, like the year we were our inaugural season of our team. 95. Isaac Campbell's very Raptor today. He's got the Raptor number at 95 right now. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's see. James is saying Andrea Bargnani would be a very useful in this current NBA, not a bust. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if he was a time traveler, he came 10 years too soon. If Bargnani showed up a little bit later, man, he would really thrive in today's NBA. Really would. He was a very good three-point shooter. And in some ways, he wasn't a good inside player at all. So, yeah, he would be doing way better with the way the league is now. In some ways, he was a trendsetter, like Dirk Nowitzki and other people like him. Yeah, he was a trendsetter for what was to come. He was just a little too soon. That's right. He'd be like Larry Markkinen. Yeah, I can see that, James. Neil saying this: both teams are coming off of a loss, so it's about who wants it more tonight. Yeah, the Mavericks have a lot of pressure because they haven't won a game yet, and they played 2 games at home already. And the fans are angry. They're yelling, "Fire Nico," and they're getting all wild and crazy. Jason Kidd admitting, hey, I think they should be allowed to say that. Even, he's not getting mad at the fans for yelling "Fire Nico" at the games. Cooper Flagg saying, I didn't hear them say "Fire Nico." He's just kind of trying to play impartial and not make light of it. But yeah, they're saying "Fire Nico," Cooper Flagg. Open your eyes and ears, and you will hear the Mavs fans very much saying "Fire your GM," the man who drafted you. They want him fired. And I would too. If I was a Mavs freak, my channel would be very much going at Nico Harrison every single day, like I do Ed Rogers III to a degree. Yeah, yeah. For firing Masai, yeah, that's what you get. Nico Harrison, I would come after you if I was Mavs freak for trading Luka Doncic to your friend, Rob Pelinka. Yeah, it was messed up. That was really messed up, man. It's really messed up. Oh, Shusi say, yeah, true. Can't really name their role players at this point. Najee Marshall, he wants to play Brandon Ingram because they were teammates on the Pelicans, and he really wants to guard Notorious B.I.3 tonight. He's already publicly saying that he can shut down Brandon. So watch for that key matchup with that role player, Marshall from the Pelicans being on the Mavericks now. He wants Brandon. He wants that smoke. That's what he said, yeah. Now, Buster, just because I mentioned birthdays doesn't mean we go over birthdays. The birthday segment on this show was for a very obscure assistant coach for the Raptors and our number 1 pick. It has to do with the Raptors. Don't you get that? I'm doing Raptors birthdays. And even though Bargnani was a Knick, you can share them with us. But yeah, Bargnani is a Raptor. Walker Russell was the Raptors coach. Pedro Martinez isn't even in the right sport, my guy. It's not, let's just do all the birthdays around the world. We could do this real quick. You want to do this? We'll go do this. All right, let's go to Wikipedia real quick. Let's just do birthday show because Milbester thinks this is the birthday show. This is not the birthday show, but we'll do it real quick. I used to be able to know where the birthdays are for today. Let me find them. Where's the birthdays? All right, it's the 26th. All right, let's see whose birthday it is today. And we'll just read off random birthdays since this is what Milbester thinks we're doing here. All right, let's see. All right, I don't want to name any people that you guys won't know. And there's a lot of people on here that nobody knows. First of all, let me get to like more recent times. I'll start at the bottom of the list, okay? Because there's a huge list of birthdays here. There's a huge list. We're going to just do a few of them. All right, here we go. Happy birthday to, let me even see if there's anybody that's known enough. Schoolboy Q. Happy birthday, Schoolboy Q, German-American rapper. If you know Schoolboy Q, happy birthday. Happy birthday to Monte Ellis. Former Golden State Warriors guard Monte Ellis. Happy birthday to you. He's also 40 today, the same age as Andrea Bargnani. Did y'all realize that Monte Ellis and Andrea Bargnani are exactly the same age, born on the same day? I guess that's kind of interesting. Happy birthday to Sasha Cohen. Not Sacha Baron Cohen. Sasha Cohen, American figure skater. That's not that important. Happy birthday to Francisco Lariano. How about that, Milbester? Former Minnesota Twins pitcher, Dominican pitcher. Happy birthday, Francisco Lariano. We will get a Dominican pitcher happy birthday here real quick. How about that? Nick Collison. Happy birthday to the former Seattle Supersonic. Happy birthday, CM Punk. How about that? Yeah, it's the cult of personality. I know your anger. I know your dreams. I've been everything you want to be. Oh, yeah, CM Punk. Happy birthday. Why not? Let's do it. Happy birthday to Napoleon Dynamite. John Heder. It is his birthday today, too. Happy 48th birthday, Napoleon Dynamite. Why not? Happy birthday, Taka Michinoku, with the Michinoku driver of Kaientai, of the wrestling of the WWF. Happy birthday to Seth MacFarlane of Family Guy. Yeah, Peter. Yeah, okay, Brian. What am I going to do, Peter? I wouldn't do that, Peter. What do you mean, Brian? I'll do whatever. I'm Peter Griffin. Happy birthday, Seth MacFarlane. 52 today. That's right. Let's keep going. Why not? Let's keep going. Since we're just the birthday channel here. Happy birthday, Keith Urban. I'm sorry, Nicole Kidman left you. What a birthday present for country star Keith Urban. Happy birthday to Natalie Merchant of the 10,000 Maniacs. That's awesome. I love that. That's awesome right there. Happy birthday to Carrie Elways of the Princess Bride. That's right. Carrie Elways, friend of Andre the Giant, who was the good guy in Princess Bride, the blonde guy. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Carrie Elways. Happy birthday, Dylan McDermott, American actor also. Happy birthday to Bob Golick, who is on the ESPN Sports. Happy birthday to the wife of Tom Hanks, Rita Wilson. Well, we can keep going, man. We'll keep going. We'll do these birthdays if you really want me to. Happy birthday to David Waz of Was Not Was, the producers of the great music Was Not Was. They do the dinosaur. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody do the dinosaur. That dude. Happy birthday to Bootsy Collins, the Parliament Funkadelic, George Clinton's bassist. Groove is in the heart. Groove is in the heart. Happy birthday to Kevin Sullivan, the great satanic wrestler, Kevin Sullivan. Rest in peace, who just passed away last year. Happy birthday to Kevin Sullivan, great Florida wrestler. That's right. We got happy birthday, Hillary Clinton, y'all. It's Hillary Clinton's birthday today. Happy birthday to Hillary. That's right. She should have been president. Happy birthday to Pat Sajak, Wheel of Fortune. Happy birthday, Pat Sajak. He is 79 today, guys. 79 years old for Pat Sajak. Happy birthday to Jacqueline Smith of the Charlie's Angels. That's right. Charlie's Angels. Jacqueline Smith. It's her birthday. She doesn't just do makeup. She's a Charlie's Angels, y'all. All right. We should just stop this. Happy birthday, Bob Hoskins of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Happy birthday to Bob Hoskins, the man who played Mario in the Super Mario movie with John Leguizamo. That's right. That's right. Are there any more? Are there any more that I really need to do right here? I don't see any more. This is just the point here. This is just the point here. Seriously. Happy birthday, Hillary. Happy birthday, CM Punk. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. There you go. There you go. Don't call her Killary. You know what, Sylvester, you're getting a timeout, and I'm timing you out because that's right-wing bullshit talk. You're going for a timeout for 24 hours. Seriously, I'm timing you out, bro. Seriously, you're wasting my time. You're pissing me off by bringing up Pedro Martinez's birthday from yesterday. I did Francisco Liriano's birthday, and then you're disrespecting a woman that should have won the election, that got robbed from her by Donald Trump, taking the election from her. No, Hillary Clinton should have been president. You don't call her Killary, and you fuck right off, Milbester. Two-finger salute for you, Milbester, and you better fucking vote for Mandini. You better fucking vote for Mandini. If you don't vote for Mandini, fuck you. I don't want you on this channel anymore. I'm being very serious. Milbester, if you don't vote for Mandini, fuck you. I don't want you on this channel, and I don't want your baseball garbage anymore. Seriously, we can get to this point. Don't show your ass with right-wing speaking talk like fucking Killary bullshit. Seriously, she was never president. And all the bullshit that they threw at her about the emails, that scandal pales in comparison compared to all the bullshit that Trump has done since. So don't be a fucking dumbass, Milbester, and fall for right-wing speak and talk and their bullshit. Donald Trump is a criminal. And if you fucking support anybody like Cuomo, you're a fucking part of the problem. And Mandini is who you need to vote for. No, Milbester, you fuck this up. You're fucking over your own people as a Dominican man living in New York. So you need to get this right. And don't come in here with that bullshit like that. Seriously. I might kick you off the channel just for saying that. Seriously. Because Hillary Clinton don't deserve that, man. Hillary Clinton's a good person, and she did a lot of good things for this country. And at this point, people that talk shit about Hillary Clinton and don't talk shit about Donald Trump, you get a big FU from me. All right? All right? Trolling hard on that one, Milbester. Trolling hard on your little birthday parade. That's right. That's what we're doing right here. That's right. That's right. All right, let me keep going on this. Okay, let's see. Stargate saying give them an inch and they take a mile. Just saying. Yeah, you know what, Stargate? You're starting to make me realize this with Milbester. Milbester, you're on a thin line now. You crossed the line when you said that shit about Hillary Clinton. You crossed the line, and honestly, you're not welcome with your baseball shit. If you, it's gonna be like this. Seriously, I'm not having this shit. That's right. That's right. Neil's saying this. We need to do Darko. We need to see Darko do an early substitution to give the starters a boost. I think I like that idea. I feel like that's right. I think that if there are issues and we don't start off right exactly, that we either make a defensive substitution of Oshai in, or we make an offensive substitution of Grady in. And that's really depending on what the problem is. If we're not doing well defensively, maybe you take RJ out and you put Oshai in immediately. If you're not doing well spreading the floor and getting the offense right, maybe you take Brandon out and you put Grady in or something like that. I don't know. There's a couple of different options there, but I think Neil's right on this. And thank you for bringing it back to what we talk about here and none of this bullshit anymore. Fiercely saying, today is my work colleague's birthday today too. Just kidding. Yeah, happy birthday to Fiercely's work friend. Yeah, happy birthday to her. That's right. Or them. I don't know what they are. Yeah, Monte Ellis' birthday today too. Yeah, I'm trolling. I was trolling. Yeah, Wayne saying, morning, Rap Freaks. Lex, you didn't watch the Jays game last night and they lost. I know that in some ways the pattern doesn't always stay true, but I didn't watch the games that they lost the Mariners either. So it's the long haul of the whole thing. And I just got to do my part. I have to keep my pattern. They've gotten this far. And even if I watch, I can't watch them. I just can't. I want to, but if I do, it's superstitious. It just is. And in some ways I want to do what's right for the team. All right, we're getting close to 2 hours. I want to get out of here despite all the extracurricular bullshit. Yeah, Nicole left Keith Urban. Yeah, that happened in like the last 2 weeks. So don't worry. You're not totally out of the loop. You see, saying Andrea Bargnani's birthday matters the most for the Raptors fans because he basically got traded for Jakob, which in turn became Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, this is good. This is a good point. There's a reason why we cover Raptors stuff here and we do Raptors birthdays and not CM Punk and Monte Ellis and Francisco Lariano's birthdays. Yeah, or Hillary Clinton's even too. Yeah. There's a reason. Yeah. Neil saying, Lex, I got it on Right Wing Talk, but Milbester has to choose for himself. I get it on Right Wing Talk, but Milbester has to choose for himself. Listen, I want to say this right now. People are not smart enough to think for themselves completely. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of people that are coming at people that if they're not thinking critically, they're going to buy hook, line, and sinker some bullshit that is not in their best interest. This is the whole platform of Trump and the MAGA movement. There's so many dumbass people that bought their bullshit and were fooled at this point. And some of them feel really angry about it at this point because they don't see their eggs going down. So let's just get it straight. I'm saying this shit to Milbester as a friend. Don't be fooled by these assholes that are not in your interest. These people will hurt you, Milbester, and you'll give them your vote. So if you want to be a dumbass and vote for people that are not for you and fall for their lies, you go ahead. But you're not fucking helping the world in the next part. And everybody in the United States needs to reject the Republican Party wholly and fully because they are the party of kings and the ones that want Donald Trump to do what he's doing right now. So that country needs to go blue heavily. They need to vote for everybody who's anti-Trump, anti-Republican, and they need to vote for the Democrats, even if some of them are shitty. You have to do this. If you don't, you're going into a dictatorship and you're going to lose more and more of your rights. There's going to be more and more of y'all going to prison because they make money off of y'all in prison now, not from you working. That's the change in the AI. The money is made off the cattle of more and more people being incarcerated. And that's why they're building more prisons. That's why they're hiring more ICE. They will take the immigrants first in Milbester, and then they will come and get the next people. And where are you on that hierarchy? of when they're going to come and get you and throw you in jail just for some bullshit because you're a Dominican guy who lives in New York. So realize what you're supporting is Nazism if you vote for Republicans right now. And that's just the clear-cut damn truth of it. You can think that it's this or that, but this is the fight we're all in right now, all around the world, even here in Canada. You cannot trust the PC government. You cannot trust people like Pierre Poilievre. And people in Australia have people that are like this that they have to fight off too. So there's a huge movement around the world against right-wing fascism. And the right-wingers are the Republicans, are the conservatives, are the PC. They are the ones aligning themselves with racists, Nazis, white supremacists. And if you want to go vote for Nazis and white supremacists, Milbester, you vote for Cuomo. You go ahead, you idiot, is what I'll say right now. Open your damn eyes and realize the fight is against the right wing because the right wing is Nazis at this point. They've shown their true colors. They always were underlying Nazis and white supremacists on the down low, but they're very much open and out in the open right now. And if you can't fucking see it, you're a fucking dumbass, is what I'm saying right now. So this is where we're at right now with this, man. That's what I'm saying. Neil, you believe what you want to believe, but I will say this right now. If you're putting votes towards right-wing politicians, you're a part of the problem. And in fact, the people who voted for right-wing politicians in the decades leading up to this, you led us to this fucking bullshit that we're in the middle of right now. So yeah, my right side was always right. The liberal left side has always been right on all these issues. And we want the best things for everybody. We're fighting for the little guy. We're fighting for the underdogs. We're fighting for the rights of everyone. And meanwhile, they're fighting for the rights of corporations to gouge us and steamroll us economically and make the most fucking money at the top. So what is the choice here? You got a choice for the people or a choice for the profits? And that's the only choice there is in politics right now. And if you think that they're both the same, you're fucking buying hook, line, and sinker their bullshit, and you've been duped, just like every single fucking person that went MAGA last year. Mic drop, because that's the damn truth. And I'm over 2 hours now. I had to do that. That's important. That's right. You got Grand Slam. That's right. Addison Barger. Hello. Lexi Ott. I'll Grand Slam this shit. Out of here, baby. That's right. Wayne saying this. I think you should watch baseball if you desire, Lex. No one dies either way. If you watch Raptors and they lose, none of us believe it's because we're watching. Latinos are brainwashed as a cohort. I mean, I don't understand this. How could any Latino vote for Trump and see family members and friends getting dragged away in ICE vehicles at this point? Seriously, how the fuck could you do this? How stupid were you? Seriously. So, Milbester, don't continue the stupid shit. Vote for Mandini. Seriously, you need that guy as your mayor badly. He's not a corporate puppet. That's why they're so scared of him. That's why they're teaching you to hate him, is because they know he will be a problem for them. That's why you need to vote for him. The right people are upset and they don't want him. That's usually a good sign. You need to vote for him. Seriously. Now, I'm not going to watch the Jays. There's a long-standing thing with this, Wayne. I've explained this. When I started watching when Donaldson was on the team, it all went to shit. I've gone to Blue Jays games. They've lost. It's just, in some ways, my superstition. In some ways, I don't have the time to keep up with baseball. And I don't want to watch the Jays at all. But I want them to win. And I'm going to keep my pattern of not watching them. They've gotten to this point without me watching them. And I understand. You're right. But I'm superstitious. And I got to do what I got to do. What's been working so far is kind of what I got to do. All right, let's do this classic card. We won't go too far over 2 hours. I'm trying to get this done right now. Okay, this is cool. This is fun. Just a random card out of the box. Full name answer, please. It's kind of an old school one. There you go. It's easy. Come on now. We know this guy. This guy is a guy from our country. And this guy is a player that we've seen many times. That's right. Write it in. Full name. That's right. Andrew Wiggins is right. Slug Deasy's got it. That's right. That is Andrew Wiggins, our great Maple Mamba from Vaughn, our Vaughn Maple Mamba, NBA champion. Andrew Wiggins, also been on Team Canada for time. So Andrew Wiggins is the card. Slug Deasy has got it, baby. It's a 50-point card. It's not that hard. And Slug Deasy is getting 50 more trivia points for Andrew Wiggins. Awesome. All right, let me just put it in on my score sheet, and we'll punch it in right there. Boom goes the dynamite. Good shit. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying. We'll wrap it up real quick. basketball maven. You could have a negative energy that disrupts the Blue Jays winning universe. I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to do that. There was a game, the last game I went to last year. I didn't go to a game this season. I usually try and go to one Blue Jays game a year. And I went to a game with Adriana last year. It was the Red Sox, and the Blue Jays were losing while I was there. And I decided I didn't want to be at the game anymore because there were drunk people near me and they were annoying me. So I told Adriana we should leave. And so we left, and we're on the cab on the way home. And all of a sudden the Blue Jays got some hits and they took the lead after we left. So it's like, it's stuff like that. It's unscientific, but in some ways I want to do the superstitious stuff. And like I said, it's a sacrifice. In some ways I'd love to watch, but in some ways it's not important to me to watch. I'd rather them win. So that's kind of what it is. UC saying, I kind of wish Andrew Wiggins becomes a Raptor in the future. It's too late. It's too late. I would have wanted Andrew maybe 8 years ago, but not now. He's somewhat washed, and he's at the end of his career. If he came to our team, it'd have to be on a veteran minimum, and he's definitely going to be like the 9th or 10th guy. He's not going to be a starter, and he's not someone I would want to rely on. In fact, he kind of confuses the situation in Miami right now. In some ways, they're going to wish and want him to be a certain level of Andrew Wiggins, but I don't think he'll consistently come through for them in the way that they need him to depend on. So in some ways, he's a little bit fool's gold at this point because in some ways, he's very much, I think he's near the end of his career. And in some ways, it's kind of like we're getting the old version of him, and we don't want to pay a lot of money for the old version. I think, yeah. Maple LeBron. Neil saying this, I never voted right wing in my life. Thank God. Thank you, Neil. But I will never take a person's right to vote for who they want. Time will show them whether they are right or wrong. What I will say is never vote out of anger. Nah, I don't agree with that. You need to do that right now. Yeah, if your motivation is to vote is anger, that's fine, because there are a lot of things to be angry about right now. And you know what? If there's a lot of people that sidelined in elections in the last few years because they didn't think it mattered, well, I hope they're angry right now and they're motivated to vote this time, because you know what? Kamala probably could use their vote last year. So yeah, I'll disagree with you on that. You can vote angry. Oh yeah, and you should, because that's your right in a democracy to vote that way. So yeah, I mean, I like that you're saying that everybody should have the right to choose who they want to vote, and that's true. And that may be difficult in the United States in the next couple of years if they're putting National Guard at the voting booths like Putin would in Russia and intimidating voters to vote for who they want them to vote for. That's the problem that's coming up in the United States, is the democracy, the voting system is going to be truly tested by a wannabe authoritarian dictator who's going to be sending military to intimidate people at the voting booths, just like Putin would in Russia. Everything that's going on in the United States is Russia. Americans, if you want to understand how your life might change in the next few years under Trump more and more, go look at what happens in Russia and how their country is run by oligarchs and a fucking dictator named Putin. Because everything that happens in Russia could happen in your country next. And if you don't like the idea of that, well, you need to fucking get out there and vote angry, is what I'm going to say to that. That's right. That's right. Yeah, UC saying I'd want him in a minimum, but great observation. Yeah, he definitely had to be on a veteran at minimum. And I would have loved to get him in his prime. That would have been so great. That would have been really cool to have that hometown connection. But alas, the real big hometown connection is with RJ. And that's the one I covet and I love right now. And you know what? RJ's more in his prime than Andrew is at this point. So it would have been nice to have the feeling we have with Barrett, with Wiggins earlier in his career. But I feel like at times this ship has sailed. If Andrew wanted to come play for the Raptors just as an end of his season kind of thing, end of his career kind of thing, just to fulfill a dream, I wouldn't be against it. If he wanted to come and put on our jersey just for a season near the end, but he doesn't have to be a major player and he doesn't have to get paid a lot, then I would be okay with that. Yeah. Blackhawks saying I prefer Dylan Brooks or Wiggins. Dylan's a little younger and Dylan has more prime years in there. And I wouldn't mind Dylan Brooks on the Raptors for sure. There maybe was a couple years ago where I'd be like, yeah, we don't want Dylan Brooks on our team. But at this point, I'm all right with Dylan Brooks being a Raptor for sure. For sure. UC saying Brooks would definitely help with our toughness and defense. Yeah. Yeah. And he's actually having an underrated effect on the Suns so far this year. Him paired up with Ryan Dunn is actually a really nasty defensive combo. And the Suns fans are kind of proud because everybody said they'd have a bad defense. But Dylan Brooks is making a difference on Phoenix so far. And they're actually playing pretty good defense to start the season. So he's definitely a defensive leader, and he has an addition when he comes on the court and helps teams. In some ways, Houston's going to miss that this year. They're going to miss that from Brooks this year. That's right. Brooks would be good as well. Yeah, I'm all about that. All right, guys, thanks for watching me today. Let me do the rundown real quick. The injuries real quick. Colin Murray Boyles is doubtful for today or questionable because of his forearm. He's the only injury listed for the Raptors. On the other side of things, Dante Exum is out. Brandon Williams is out. Daniel Gafford is doubtful. And Kyrie Irving, of course, is out. The referees for today will be crew chief Pat Frayer, who heavily favors the Mavericks. We've also got Fennessy Ransom as the second ref. He favors the Raptors. And Matt Myers, statistically over time, favors the Raptors also. So that's your crew. Pat Frayer, Fennessy Ransom, and Matt Myers. All right, my keys to the victory, to the win, to the path, to the victory, to the advice, to the game is the Raptors need to cause turnovers. They need to get at Cooper Flagg. If he's going to be the point guard, they're going to be foolish enough to run that man at point guard. We need to make him cough it up. We need to make him, hello, welcome to the NBA. We're the Raptors. We're a buzzsaw on a point of attack defense, and we're going to come mess you up, and we're going to steal the ball. Another area they need to commit themselves to is the rebounding. The rebounding was horrible on Friday night against the Bucks. So Raptors come back out tonight and play better as a rebounding team. Also, if we can get in any kind of three-point advantage over them, we can win better if we make more threes than them. Also, free throws. Don't fuck them up this time. Get them right tonight. Those are important keys, all of that stuff. And contain Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, in some ways, is shooting horrible this year so far. He's very high usage with low efficiency. Let that man take bad shots and help the Mavericks lose because he shoots so bad. So that's what I see right there. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Neil's saying, when you voted angry, politicians take advantage of it. Investigate who you're interested in. The truth is out there. Many people who voted for Dump did so out of anger instead of looking at his record. Well, I agree with that. I'm saying don't be blind with anger that you don't look at the facts and the things of things. I think we have a different way of looking at this. I'm talking about if you're informed and you're angry, vote because you're angry because of that. But yeah, they use anger or sadness about prices and immigrants and all this kind of stuff to manipulate voters to vote for Trump. I get what you're saying, but I'm trying to say this. There's a very angry amount of people in the United States right now, and they need to feel that anger to be motivated to change what's going on right now. Because if they don't, the strong arm guy is trying to ensconce bullshit. And they're already talking about amending amendments so he can run a third term. They're talking about holding power and holding it and hanging it over to his son after he's dead or something like that. They're talking about monarchy. They're talking about king kind of shit. And that's why they're saying no kings when they go out. Everybody who doesn't understand these protests and say, we don't have kings. What are you upset? You're an idiot. You don't see what Trump's trying to do. In fact, there's a lot of parallels. This ballroom thing has, the Nazis did a similar thing when they were in power. They did some weird shit, made a room, and they've done a lot of the same stuff they're doing is symbolically exactly like the white supremacist Nazi party of Germany 100 years ago. So see the parallels, understand the stuff. Yeah, I get what he's saying, but let's not cloud this judgment or this blind this. No. If you're angry about what's going on in the United States, definitely vote. Seriously. Neil, I think we're talking apples to oranges. I get what you're saying. But listen, we are angry and we need to vote with that angry energy. Seriously, we need to be motivated, just like people are getting in the streets. Yeah. All right, let's see. Wayne's saying Sunday does not make way for silly comments. Andrew Wiggins has no value we need. Total nonsense. It's a nice point. UC's more saying it would be nice to have a Canadian play on our team. And I don't know if it's actually he's saying that he thinks it'll majorly help us, like he's a needle pusher or anything like that. People voted for Trump out of selfishness, not anger, selfishness and ignorance. I think that's accurate. I think it's accurate. Some people may have voted out of anger because they wanted to own the libs and feel all this kind of bullshit. It's absolute fake malarkey. But yeah, it is what it is. Either way, guys, I got to get out of here. We're at 2:13. I appreciate everybody watching my preview today for the Mavericks game tonight. Tomorrow I'll be back with reaction to the Mavericks game and a preview for the Spurs game. So we got double duty, and it's going to be a very busy day. And in some ways, I would ask people to limit outside topics so that we can really just talk about the Raptors, because I got to do a reaction and a preview stream tomorrow, and that'll probably run about 3 hours. anyway, just on its own. I appreciate you, Isaac. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody supporting the channel, like Blackhawk and Fiercey and Roger Raymond and Shaq Lindsay and Canadian Dana, all the people that actually support the channel as a member month by month. And also people are just in here every day hanging out with us too. That's right. We the North, baby. Let's go. Let's have a good day. Let's beat Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks and put them at 0-3 at the end of the night. Let's be awesome. Peace and love and understanding. If one side doesn't have peace in their heart, well, then you have to have violence to defeat them. And one side is not going to go peacefully. Trust me. And they're not going to just do this because they don't follow laws anyway. So the uprising will have to be a certain way because it's not like they're just going to follow the rules and get the hell out. We're going to have to kick them out. We're going to have to kick them out. Trust me, we will. That's right. All right, let's go Raptors. Let's go Blue Jays too tomorrow, but let's go Raptors today. How about that?